Hello. Happy Monday. It is Monday again. I feel like it's Groundhog. Like well, I only go live. Like, well, now I'm going live on Fridays. So you can catch me on Fridays for a quick one card. But today we're looking at their energy, their intentions, their feelings, like I do every Monday. And Aries through Pisces, I'll pull a hidden message, hidden feelings, all right? What's going on with them. So that's how I'm going to roll today. For those of you new to my channel, I do a reading for each zodiac sign. And then for each zodiac sign, I do Aries through Pisces. So if you have somebody on your mind, I will get a quick message for you. So I do start Aries off at around 2:22 today, hopefully. And timestamps will be up after the live is done. But you can always scroll back while I'm live. The title of your zodiac sign will be on the screen. And I'm also doing super chats after this on Mondays and Fridays after the live. If you have personal questions, usually the weekend stirs a bunch of stuff up. I'm here for you on Monday to help bring some clarity or advice, especially around how to deal with the energy that you're currently in and how to navigate it, through manifesting principles, so that you can change the situation. Hi Angel. Hi Bernadette. Hi Lisa, what's up? So come on in. Hi Bettina, what's up? Make sure you're letting me know where you're from, what sign you are. It is always best when you're here when I'm live. It really does help with the energy. Hello Danny. And believe it or not, like the ones that show up, I believe that you're kind of asking the questions or bringing the energy that other people may be going through the same thing and need to hear. So that is why sometimes, different readings resonate with you. So you watch any zodiac sign, sometimes you'll get a message too regarding your situation. Hello, Allie and Carissa, what's up? And April, May, June, what's up? We are getting close to those months. Those are some of my favorites. All right, so beautiful weather, beautiful week. Let's see what kind of energy I'm picking up today. And we're going to start with Aries, the birthday babies. All right, Miss Cassandra, what is up? All right, I'm going to give it a couple more. I'm going to put it for 333 because I was still talking here. I'm going to shuffle the cards and get going for you. Hello, Brandy. All right, I love it. Thank you for being here with me. Bring that awesome energy. How was everybody's weekend? Let me know what I'm up against, what kind of energy. And hopefully you made it through the weekend. Happy birthday to you, Grandpa. He was in Aries. My son's birthday is coming up. My son's in Aries. All right. Sunny card, birthday card, right? That is the birthday card, right? So that's already showing up for you. So you know what? It is Aries' birthday. So I'm just going to kind of keep it here on the side just to remind you that this is, your time of year. So Aries, I started you at 333, but the sun card flew out for you. And I'm putting it there just to remind you of this is your solar return. All right. So this is a reset for you. And so, this is where you put on your crown, and this is where, you just don't let other people's opinions of you, the circumstances, steal your thunder right now, right? That's what that tells me. It's just not the time. Right now is the time to celebrate you. So let's see. We're looking at your person's feelings, energy, and tensions this week. And then Aries through Pisces, I'll pull a hidden message for you for the person that's on your mind. All right, let's see. All right, so at the bottom of the deck, which is the overall energy for me, it shows me communication coming in. Maybe it's delayed right now. You've been waiting on somebody to reach out, or you've been pondering whether or not you should reach out to somebody else. So this is a good energy for, we are flowing forward with the Mercury going direct. We're still kind of in shadow, but usually things start to clear up around now, or communication starts to come in you know, a lot more fluidly, you know, so we're not always wondering or waiting. So I have this 7 of Cups underneath that, which tells me that, you know, somebody may be thinking about what to say, not sure, you know, just, you know, kind of going over what options they have, and what options or possibilities for this connection with you. All right. So there could be just a lot on somebody's mind. Now, your person's feelings towards you, I'm getting the King of Cups. So we are seeing a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy showing up for you. And the challenge they have with this, with you, the 9 of Pentacles. All right. How do they view you? I see the 4 of Swords. Right. And how do you view the situation? I see the Magician card. All right, so you're in often thought here. All right, you really, it seems like you're attracted to somebody. It seems like there's something really growing here. King of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. Somebody who's a little bit more reserved, relaxed, kind of go with the flowish type of energy. And it looks as though you may be getting restless here, you know, wondering if this person is attracted to you, what's going on, what's happening here, why isn't this person reaching out, or when am I going to connect with this person? The Magician card is, this is a reminder for you to not start thinking about the worst case scenarios when it comes to a situation, especially if you're in no contact with somebody. You know, this is reminding you that we tend to, you know, create stories that are coming from our feelings, you know, and they're not even true. We don't even have facts yet, but we're assuming things, right? So be careful of your assumptions around the situation that you're dealing with, because I see the challenge somebody has with you is the 9 of Pentacles. And 9 of Pentacles can be somebody that has high standards, high expectations. You work a lot. You're very independent. And, you know, and you have somebody here who's developing feelings for you, but they may feel challenged. Maybe they feel like they can't meet your expectations just yet, or wondering if you guys really are a good fit, right? So I feel like a very good energy coming through for you. And if there's any other problems, let's see if you're having any challenges with this person. And the 10 of Pentacles, commitment, right? It looks like you're ready right now for the next step. And so this is where I'm seeing there may be some sort of challenge between the two of you. All right. You are getting the 4 of Swords energy for you. And your person thinks very highly of you. Right? You're definitely somebody that they feel a lot of value for. And you are somebody that they could see a commitment with. But is it too soon? You know, are they asking you to give them a little bit of space? Are they asking you to, you know, to just kind of slow down a little bit? For some of you, a 9 of Pentacles in the Magician, I want what I want. I know what I want, and very confident. But this person you may be feeling a little bit insecure, you know, because this person may be, you know, not communicating with you right away, right? And that's where I'm seeing this Page of Swords for you, and I'm seeing the 7 of Cups. So what are they thinking? You know, the 7 of Cups is somebody who is thinking of all the possibilities of where things can go. But the 7 of Cups also says, you know, I've been down this road before, and I don't, what if this, what if that, you know, what if I can't give you what you need? What if I can't meet your expectations? Are you kind of demanding? You do your own thing. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, this person here just may be questioning a lot of things around this relationship. There's no doubt that they're not feeling a stronger bond with you, you know, or feeling you with the King of Cups there. But this is somebody who is not going to a king is not going to rush into a relationship. All right. They're just going to take their time. Your challenge with them, though, is if somebody's in a relationship right now, all right, you know what I always say about that? That's a complicated situation, and that's going to take time. That's a timing thing. All right. That is where, you know, if you're trying to rush a relationship and somebody still has to go through the process of getting out of a relationship, you're looking at, you know, and, you know, them not responding to you fast enough, and it could be making you feel insecure. Right. But now, if it's just about commitment, you're ready to take the next step. You're ready for marriage, or you're ready for a full-time commitment. You know, you have somebody here that's very, very interested in you, but also just still kind of uncertain about what they really truly want. It's not that they're not attracted to you or don't fantasize about what this can, where it can go, but you're up against you know, just a we need to figure things out as we go type of energy. So I do see somebody intended on reaching out to you, and the energy around them is really good. And the only thing I'm seeing with you is maybe having a challenge here with the space between the two of you, or waiting for communication, or you feel like communication isn't consistent enough. But remember, you're showing up as a 9 of Pentacles, and that's somebody that just is very much like, I have a schedule. This is it. Call me now. Do this here. Let's go. And somebody here is just a little bit more kind of go with the flow, which could stress you out if you're feeling like they're just not being snappy enough. All right. So what does Spirit think you should do? I kind of already said that. And I see the 10 of Swords here, and I'm seeing not panic. All right. Don't cut something off before it starts. All right. I'm seeing, you know, things aren't as difficult as you think they are right now. And some of you might say, oh, no, you don't know my story. And that's where I am for a personal read if you want one. But what I am seeing, the energy right now, is I read an energy. So it is saying that the situation may not be as difficult as you think it is, but you could react or overreact, because if somebody's creating space with you, you may automatically think that they're leaving or they're ending or something's not moving forward. And that's a natural response for people that have been through, you know, some fire with people, right? So I am seeing that it's not as difficult as you think, and I'm seeing strong energy of somebody very attracted to you and reaching out to you this week. All right, according to the cards. All right, so let's see Aries through Pisces. I'm going to pull a bunch of random cards from this huge deck right here, and I want you to think of the sign that's on your mind. And I'm just going to give a quick hidden feelings, energy, or truth that comes through for your person with what's on the cards. All right. So I'm going to kind of spread them out so I can just kind of grab them. All right, Aries, I have too much to lose. All right, so I also feel like that's you too. And I like that. It's like, you're like, look, I've worked really hard for what I got, you know, and I'm not taking any chances. So that's what I'm feeling like with you, since this is an Aries position, right? You know, you don't want to waste your time on a situation that's not going anywhere. All right. And this week you could get some sort of clarity around that too, because you do see a king showing up for you and the Magician. All right. But if you're dealing with another Aries right now, the 7 of Cups in this energy here can say, I'm scared to take that leap. You know, I may have too much going on in my life, and I'm afraid to lose what I've worked for. All right. So it could be a timing issue with your Aries, and a fear issue. Like they're afraid to take this leap and lose or end up with nothing. All right. So Taurus, I'm seeing, I took the easy way out. All right, so Taurus here, kind of head hanging low, kind of feeling like, look, Aries, I just didn't know, you know, if how to face or hold myself accountable for what I did or what I said to you. All right, so this is sort of a confession saying, I know I took the easy way out. It was a challenging relationship. I didn't know what to do in the time. And so sometimes people will end up with somebody else who doesn't cause them any grief or challenge them, but that doesn't mean they won't come back around once they realize that, you know, sometimes relationships that are hardest can be the most fulfilling, you know, dependent. So don't take that and run with it. But I do see I took the easy way out. Gemini, they wish to start all over with you. So I do see a Gemini here. Remember, the 7 of Cups behind the Page of Swords is telling me somebody really thinking about reaching out to you. And I'm seeing they really want to start over. Like they want to clean the slate and not go backwards. Cancer, I trusted you, right? So there could have been some sort of trust issue between you and Cancer. And, you know, maybe they feel like they trusted you with what was going on or the situation they were in. And in some ways they feel like you betrayed their trust, right? Or it could be vice versa. So this could be, remember, if it's vice versa, you know, that they trust you or you trusted them and they broke your trust, it's obviously somebody feeling some sort of regret, all right? And that doesn't mean any action just yet, but somebody could still be feeling the pain. Leo, I can be myself with you. So this is coming from a Leo, you know, so no matter what the situation is, it feels like they can let down their guards with you, and they want you to know that. Virgo, let's see, Virgo. Triggers affect the ability to trust, all right? So that's a big one, Virgo. Whether it's you, whether it's your person, you guys get triggered easy. And, you know, there's a difference between saying, I know I get triggered, I know I do this all the time, I know I have a habit, I know I get upset, I know I get stressed out, but knowing doesn't change anything. And with a Virgo, it could be getting to a point with one of you that it's just like, I can't trust this anymore. I can't figure out how to, you know, get comfortable because I don't know when this trigger is going to come up, right? So there could be a turning this around if we can figure out how to figure out what that trigger is and decide whether or not we're going to let it control us. All right, so Libra, I want to make amends, right? So it looks like a Libra here really does want to reconcile with you. Where that goes from there, who knows? But it's like, hey, we care about each other. You know, we just can't leave things the way it is. You know, I want to clear things up. So making amends with a Libra. Scorpio, I am not over you. So that's it. It's plain and simple. All right. It doesn't matter where we're at. It's hard to get over you. I'm not over you. This is maybe not over. Unfinished business. Sagittarius, I don't know how to feel right now. All right. So I'm just trying to figure out my own feelings, my own thoughts about the situation. There's really nothing more you need to do or prove. It has nothing to do, obviously, about your value or attraction, but it's just, I don't know how to feel right now. So if something did go down between the two of you, they're still trying to process it. Capricorn, I have time apart will improve your relationship. All right, so they're given this space, right? It can be uncomfortable to take space with people, but when we do, sometimes people figure out they have the biggest epiphanies. We become geniuses when we have to spend time alone, right? And so just dealing with the time apart could be very beneficial to this relationship. Aquarius, I was careless with you, and you know, I feel sorry coming in. You know what I mean? I was very careless with your heart. I was careless with this relationship, and maybe you'll get an apology around this. Pisces, we are not right for each other. All right. So this could be a very intense connection where it ends in, you know, it starts off very good and then ends, you know, kind of poorly, or just feels bad for both of you. So it feels like it's a hard pattern to break. You guys both know that you're not right for each other. It doesn't mean that you won't try and work something out, but it does mean that there is something, a big block with this relationship with you and a Pisces. All right, that was my Aries. Let me know what you think. Hello, Starseed. All right, let me know. Put these over here, and let's get on to my Tauruses. All right, Taurus. It's 18. All right, so these ones get kind of long. So get comfy, guys. Let me get a good shuffle for Taurus. Taurus. All right. So Taurus, their feelings, challenge with you, how they view them. And then I'll get a hidden message from Aries through Pisces for you. All right. So overall energy is showing up as the Ace of Wands. All right. So things get started, but we're not taking quite action just yet. So it's pure potential. All right. Somebody very interested. You're on somebody's mind. And, you know, this is a good opportunity to decide where you want your relationship to go or how you want this to happen. What we do during this period with the aces really does start the road, the blueprint, right? And so depending on how you look at things right now, especially in this relationship, you can choose. It's more like look at this, Two of Pentacles, choose wisely. All right, so something has gotten started with you and another person, but we have the Two of Pentacles, which can say that, it can get complicated between the two of you, right? 1 minute it might be good, the next minute it might be like, what's wrong? What's going on here? It's like somebody trying to make a decision here and what they want to do next, right? So to me, when you get an Ace and a Two of Pentacles, it's like, it's a timing issue. It's like being flexible, compromising with the situation, and, just deciding not to think the worst, with this situation. Somebody here planning on reaching out. Somebody's got you on their mind. Somebody here wants to see where things go. They may be trying to figure out if you guys are compatible. Maybe some days it really is awesome. The Ace of Wands, there's passion there, but then maybe on other days somebody's busy or somebody's not able to communicate, or, you guys are just very different personalities, right? There could be a lot of things here that we have to weigh out, the pros and the cons of a situation. Is this relationship worth exploring? To me, it shows yes. It's like a big yes here. It's, you know what I mean? It's when you're at potential, it depends on how you act or what you think and how you react in a situation at the very beginning stages. Right now, it's very crucial to feel out the energy and see what's really going on here and working with adapting. Some days it might feel a little bit off, right? These are days where you got to decide, maybe I'll wait a little bit later and reach out then, So let's see what's really going on. Your person's feelings, the Strength card. I love that. I got Leo energy. What's their biggest challenge with the situation? The Star card. There's a lot of major arcana. Your person dealing with some disappointments and they're not letting you know about it. All right. This may not have anything to do with you. So I just feel like with this energy, you may be taking something personal, Taurus. You got somebody here that's very confident. It seems like they, keep their walls up. It's like very strong energy. But the way they feel about you, the Strength card is coming up. It's like, I see all the possibilities. It's like I'm hoping for something good to come out of this. The Star card, very beautiful energy, very attractive energy. All right. But it feels like your person may be containing or trying to be strong, and pride may keep them from opening up and letting you know that, maybe they're afraid to disappoint you. Maybe they're disappointed in themselves. Maybe they did something, maybe they said something to you, and, this is where, you got to decide on where you're going to react, because it could be somebody else's shit and they just don't know how to react in the moment, right? And then we end up taking things personal. Think of the 4 agreements, right? Major arcana here. How do they view you? The 3 of Wands, all right? Somebody here really serious about where this connection can go. How do you view the situation? This is where it can turn, all right? How do you view the 6 of Pentacles, all right? Maybe you feel like this is a person that could give more, you want more, you feel like we're on the same page. I really want this person. I want this person to give to the connection. I want more consistency, all right? So I do feel like you're dealing with inconsistencies with somebody, and it could be around them pulling away, pulling back, and you may be feeling like, wait a minute, something's wrong, something's not in alignment. I need to know what's going on with this person because they're pulling their energy away. Does it have something to do with me? Did I disappoint them? Do they still want to move forward? You have the 3 of Wands. They see you as somebody here that they want to move forward with. All right. And the 6 of Pentacles, you may be wondering, there's something off. It's not in balance. Do this person want to be more than friends? Do they want to be with me? Well, always go back to this, right? The Ace of Wands. There is such pure potential right now, but you're just trying to work through the kinks, right? You're trying to figure things out as you go. And right now there's just so many things that can interfere with a relationship. And some of you may know what it is. There could be juggling of relationships. There could be juggling of jobs. There could be uncertainty. Maybe somebody feels like they failed themselves. They just don't trust. All right. Maybe your person doesn't trust anybody. All right. And do you? I mean, do you? I mean, it's a lot of us go around and say, I can't trust anybody, but we want the other person to trust first. and we want them to trust us. But really, it's like you've got to trust before they trust. And so that runs deep. All right. So let's see. What was the last card? Let's see your biggest challenge with this person, and the Seven of Cups, right? The inconsistency, the Seven of Cups, all right? This person may leave you guessing at times, right? Maybe you're just always feeling uncertain and very uncomfortable with the uncertainty. Very uncomfortable with the uncertainty. All right. You have a person here that also, in the initial stages, I want to say right now, this isn't necessarily FOMO, okay? Fear of missing out, right? Because the Seven of Cups can sometimes say somebody doesn't want to make a decision. They're very interested in you, but they want to keep their options open, all right? That's not the energy I'm getting here. I feel like something else is weighing on your person here, and they see the possibilities in the relationship. They're just afraid to make a choice and just 100% jump in and commit right now. All right. So this is where you got to kind of have the carrot on the stick, or the steak on the stick, or whatever you want to call it. And you just got to kind of toss it in and kind of reel it in, and not let it mess with your confidence. Not let it mess with your confidence. All right. And because it's too soon. It feels too soon. Now, if this is a reconciliation for some of you, and you're trying to reinvent things, or renew whatever the connection is, it's still too early to make assumptions. And when you make assumptions, you're going to make assumptions based off of what happened to both of you in the past, which is just starting the ball down the same road, of whatever happened last time. Right. So it's too soon to really to make any decisions here about where this could possibly go. And I am seeing a bond here that over time will continue to develop. So with that being said, with the star there too, it tells me that if you have been feeling growth, or every time you guys do reconnect, or every time, you have a problem and afterwards you do feel a sense of, something changed here for the better, then you know that this is a relationship that is growing. But if nothing's changing for some of you, and you've been in something like this for quite some time, this is where, you just have to decide if you're running out of time and you don't want to waste any more time with this, because that could be the move that you make that actually gets your person to jump and make that choice, right? So just keep that in mind. What does Spirit want you to know and what you should do? And I see the Sun card for you. Take it day by day. This is not losing your confidence, not letting something dim your light. The way somebody else is reacting right now, just think about it. We've gone through many shifts right now, the eclipses that passed. We're getting out of winter energy. We're moving into spring now. There's just so many shifts going on right now that this card is saying, don't let other people's situations or reactions define you. All right. And this is, finding ways to renew your light too, as well. And this is staying positive, because it looks like things are clearing up, and you could get some clarity on the situation sooner than you think. All right. There's been some crazy, absolutely, energies right now that have been bringing clarity to many of us. So just think about that. Your person probably processing a lot of energy too. So let's see. I'm going to do the same thing, Aries through Pisces, for you. I'm spreading out the cards in front of me, and I'm just going to pull randomly so we can get mixed messages here. Not mixed messages, but mix them up. So Aries through Pisces, let's get an energy. This is the person that's on your mind. It may have nothing to do with this, so just keep that in mind. It may or may not. Aries, concerns about money affect your love life, right? So that says a lot. We're always worrying about money. We're always worrying about our assets. We're always worrying about our job, always worrying about the future. And we don't have time to really enjoy the relationship. Every time you're around, something comes up or makes you guys, just kind of not in the mood to even discuss relationships if money is always a concern. Money steals that whole vibe, that whole Five of Pentacles energy steals, all right, our energy from a relationship. So it's hard for your Aries to really focus on feelings right now. All right. It seems like they're more worried about their career, their money, and they're in sort of survival mode. Taurus, let's see what I get for you. You didn't see my tears. This kind of speaks a lot right here with this star card as the biggest challenge. All right. it feels to me like some of you Tauruses are dealing with somebody that feels very disappointed in themselves. Wherever you need to put that. And somebody may actually be processing a lot of deeper feelings in the background. You have that strength card. Strength to me is like somebody thinks it's being strong also by not having the courage to cry, you know, or to be vulnerable in front of you. And so your person may pull away when they just don't want you to see them be vulnerable. It makes them feel weak in a way, right? Or it's not attractive, whatever the excuse is, Taurus. But that's what I feel like you might be dealing with, especially another Taurus. Like they really are still processing or hurting over something that has gone down between the two of you. Gemini, your person can only give you the bare minimum. So what they're saying is, I only can give you so much. And if it's not enough for you, I don't know what else to do, right? It's like, maybe it has to do with you're trying to connect with a Gemini that is nowhere near stable enough that you need in a relationship, especially if you're established, right? Or they're in another relationship and they only can give you a little bit. It's not going to be enough for you moving forward. And so if they've pulled away from you or they feel like they're disappointing you, this is why. It's like, I can't give you much more right now. And again, it could be a timing issue. And so that's a decision on you, whether or not you want to wait for something like that. Cancer, I saved your text and messages. All right. So, you know, you have a Cancer here that's still not ready to let go of you. You know what Cancer is, right? It's a water sign, but Cancer, man, they can hold on. You know, it's like, I have everything. I have receipts. I have everything, right? And I just, you know, this is good and this is bad, because if you say shit, right, just keep that in mind. Your Cancer's like, I'm going to come back, right? I know. All right. So, but just know that they may reread them and maybe they're studying what's gone wrong. Maybe sometimes it takes a couple days to reread a text so that you can really look at it differently. A lot of people skim nowadays because we take in too much information. So you skim what people are saying to you and you miss the meat of the message. You think you're getting it, but go back and reread. I'm guilty of that, which is why I try to slow down when you're reading stuff. All right, so Cancer, definitely reminiscent about what you've said. Leo, they're hiding something very important from you. All right, so, you know, these are brief messages. So maybe some of you have to do some digging here. You know, it's going to be different for each and every one of you. I'll pull one more to see if I can get clarification. I'm just getting, I'm so sorry. So again, it's going to be different for each and every one of you, and don't take it if it doesn't resonate. All right. If you know that your Leo is not hiding anything from you, don't make it fit. All right. These messages can trigger people. But for somebody, or somebody needs to hear this, they may be hiding something that you need to dig a little deeper. So do some research, especially if this is a newer person. I've seen it too many times, all right, to not, you know, I mean, people be in relationships for quite some time, and then you find out they're married, or you find out they're into the opposite sex, right? Or, you know, you just, I'm sorry is what I'm getting. So you may find out, maybe they'll eventually tell you. Don't take it if it's not yours. All right. Virgo, someone is sabotaging the relationship. This is the second time Virgo kind of got this message with Aries too. So what are my Virgos doing here? We're supposed to be cleaning out that closet and reorganizing and surrendering. And, you know, so this could go either way, but it just feels like someone is sabotaging the relationship. So this could be an external person on your Virgo side, where it's just like somebody's in their head, or somebody's trying to, you know, get in the way. Maybe there's jealousy. Maybe there's a, you know, one of your friends wants this person. It can be all kinds of things. All right. But just know that there's something that could be avoided or confronted that may save the relationship. Now, if it's you overanalyzing and getting triggered and self-sabotaging, you know, that's also part of this too. Realizing that sometimes our triggers, you know, and our thoughts really do, once they get started, it's like a fire. They just try to destroy everybody, especially if your emotions run too high, right? Very intense, right? So that's what I'm getting for a Virgo. Libra. I see. I never want to feel that way again. So if there's been any regret, any disappointment happening with you in Libra, they learned their lesson, or they definitely learned their lesson, is what I'm seeing. All right. So if you guys were separated and you're back together, maybe this is them saying, like, I don't ever want that to happen again. So I always try to look at the positive first. All right. But also, if you guys were really, being harsh to one another, it's like, I don't ever want to do that again. I don't ever want to feel this way again. So it can go either way, but that's what I'm getting with your Libra. Scorpio, internal conflicts are affecting your connection. All right. So again, this is what I was picking up here. Your person dealing with some internal conflict, right? Which is saying, don't take it personal. All right. Your person really may be struggling with a lot that's going on, and it can run deep, like wounds deep. It can be even addictions. It can be not knowing where their place is, right? They could be fear of loss of some sort. They could be dealing with a lot. And this is somebody I'm picking up on that doesn't like to be vulnerable. So just keep that in mind with your Scorpio. And this could also be you fighting your own internal battles, and it's affecting the relationship with your Scorpio as well. Sagittarius, I missed hearing your voice. All right. So you have a Sagittarius that is reminiscing about you, thinking about you. And really, this could be even a compliment coming in. Like, I really wanted to talk to you because I really missed just talking to you. All right. Capricorn, they are in denial with their heads in the clouds. All right. So, it's like somebody here not wanting to face some sort of truth about what's happening. Right? That can be a triggering card. Some people really do, when we're upset, we're sad, or, we want something. And, part of manifesting can trigger that too, because you think when you're manifesting something in, you don't want to give up on a situation, but you can't control the circumstances, right? And so I am seeing that somebody is in denial with this connection and not wanting to face the truth yet. So if you're trying to connect with a Capricorn and they're not willing to see your side, or they're not willing to see, or this is vice versa too, and you're not willing to see each other's truth, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get it. You're going to try and justify, explain yourself, do different things. This is where you've got to create a boundary, and you got to wait for somebody to breathe and say, all right, wait a minute, maybe I do need to see what's really going on here so we can discuss it. All right. So you might be on a huge roadblock here. Aquarius. This was just a fling. All right. So now, for some of you, that can go many different ways. All right. So don't let it, if it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. Okay. But I am seeing that somebody thought a relationship was just temporary. Maybe you both knew it, you signed up for it. This could be you were in other relationships, and, people got feelings, and, and it's just what it is. Right. But if somebody, it could also be maybe somebody cheated on you, and it was just short term, and that doesn't make it right by any means, but this could be what that meant as well. Pisces, I don't know what I want just yet, right? So I'm still trying to work through where my feelings are and where I'm really feeling pulled to. So until you Pisces really can figure out what they truly want, you're going to be constantly left in uncertainty, and in wanting them or trying to push them to make a decision, which can be tiresome and exhausting. All right, let's move on to my Gemini. All right, so Gemini, 39, let's see. These might get long today, guys. I'm sorry. But when I'm doing feelings, they tend to get a little bit longer. All right, let's see. All right, how's my Gemini? right. Gemini. 9 of Pentacles overall energy here. It's pretty good energy for you when it comes to success this week. We're looking at, somebody values you, somebody sees your worth. I mean, you're looking really good. This card does talk about independency though, and it does say this could be a week where spending time, focusing on the things you need to do kind of week, which means your person could be kind of doing their own thing right now, right? Or just feeling like they're being pulled in a direction where they're focusing on their work, their career. And sometimes people see this, get this energy in their life and they think that their person is avoiding them. And then it can trigger anxiousness, anxious attachment if somebody is, doing their own thing, going their own way for a little bit. And it gets misinterpreted often. All right. And it can be very triggering, especially in a newer energy, a newer relationship. Once you get to know somebody and you know that that's what they're like, you can get more comfortable with it if you feel secure in the relationship. But if you're not feeling secure in your relationship right now, this energy right here can really be triggering for some of us with anxious attachment, or, just needing more validation about a relationship before you invest. So keep that in mind, that if your person this week is kind of feeling a little bit distant, it may not have anything to do with you. All right. And it's just the type of person they are. Now I'm seeing the Empress underneath that, and it feels as though things are already starting to take shape with you and somebody else. I always say the seeds have been planted. It means that somebody was interested in you. Somebody sees you, they see your value. But also the Empress can say, you just got to kind of know it though. You got to lean back and let it breathe and trust it, right? With that Empress card, that somebody is very attracted to you. Right? Again, I'm picking up on a newer type of scenario here. So it doesn't matter what kind of relationship you're in. It could be even if you're restarting something this week with somebody, keep in mind that it's better to start slow with somebody. When you try to reconcile with somebody, people want to jump in really fast because they want to secure it, but that actually sabotages it in a lot of ways. When you reconcile with somebody, the slower the better at times. That's how you know that it's going to last longer. So your person's feelings right now, 8 of Cups, right? So their biggest challenge right now, the Temperance card, patience, and maybe their life is out of balance right now too as well. And sometimes it feels like there's an imbalance in the relationship as well already. So let's see how they view you. The 4 of Wands, right? Very positive energy towards you. How do you view the situation? The Death card, right? We're gonna have to talk about that. All right, so what's your biggest challenge with them? The 7 of Pentacles, making plans and wondering when the next plan is or where things are going. What does Spirit want you to know? And I see the 7 of Cups, right? So this is going to speak volumes here. So your person here tends to do their own thing. And the way they view you is the 4 of Wands. So you feel very comfortable to them. They feel very like they can open up and they can be themselves with you. Right? There's no doubt about that. You give off a great vibe, but it seems like, maybe you have a lot of friends, family, or you're just from this place where you just really want a commitment, right? And I don't know if you're dealing with some grievance of some sort, or you're feeling a little bit, down about something that's happened in your family, and maybe they're not being very supportive right now. That could be a sense right there too. But I'm feeling like your person just feels like things are kind of out of balance with the two of you. Now for some of you, it could feel like they're running. Like I said, you think you're dealing with a runner. And this is where I see the 7s here telling me that your person just isn't in a rush to plan for the future. The 7 of Pentacles says they're invested, but it's more like we'll get there when we get there type of energy, right? And you, the 7 of Cups, you feel like all the options that are given to you are not enough. Like you're constantly left in this energy of uncertainty. What's really going on? Where's this going? Does this person even want me? It seems like everything I get from this relationship doesn't truly fulfill me. So you're going to have to ask yourself in this connection, is this going to bring you the happiness that you're truly wanting? Because it seems like you're trying to connect with somebody who's more independent, and it seems like they are not as available for you as you need them to be available. All right. And you're from a place here, the Four of Wands, where you're used to people being around you and connecting and being happy. So you could second guess yourself when it comes to this person's energy. And I am seeing here that you view them as the Death card. So you just feel like something's off, or something's changing with them, or every time they ignore you, you feel like it's not going anywhere. All right. So somebody else's consistency, though, is different than your consistency. You know, it depends on what you consider consistency. That's the problem with that. You know, the Temperance card, if your person is very independent and needs and feels like once a week's consistent, and that's the boundary they're putting up, and you need once a day, that becomes a choice that you have to decide. If your person's not willing to meet you in the middle, that can be a problem. And you have to make a decision. And so the Seven of Pentacles tells me that this could work out. It's just that you may be wanting this commitment right now. You know, you're wanting to go out, you wanting to get together. Maybe there's an event coming up and you just want them to be there. And it seems like they're not always there when you need them to be there. All right. Which can be a problem as well. The challenge is patience with this person. And if you don't have any, and you want this person now, it's going to eventually just stress you out big time, all right, with this energy. If you can find the patience and enjoy, you know, whatever you're doing and just see where this one goes, it looks like, you know, they see potential, they see possibilities here. I mean, there is a chance here that you guys could make plans in the future to get together, right? But this Death card, the way you view it, it feels like some of you already know something, like you've either already decided whether or not you see it moving forward or not. All right, so that's all up to you. I see Sagittarius energy. You have a person that really likes their freedom. And from what I see from you, I see you really value your family, commitment, social life, and the people around you. So you like your person with you all the time, and you like your person part of your family. And that can be the difference, the out of balance, with you and the person. All right. So that's what I'm getting. It's not about feelings or attractiveness or not seeing your worth. It's about where you guys place value when it comes to commitment and relationship. You may be connecting with somebody who doesn't see family just yet, or doesn't have a lot of family, or is somebody that's not used to a lot of family or a lot of people around them. All right. So what is your advice here to make a choice? But I'm also, I'm getting the Sun card too. The Sun card's coming up a lot today, which is telling me that, you know, it depends. This is a positive card. This says that things could turn around, be very positive between the two of you, but don't lose yourself in what this person is doing or what they think about you, or it's just realizing the difference. And once you understand that, you may see this person differently. All right. You may not judge yourself or judge the situation based off of how many times they validate or talk to you or connect with you. So this week, the reason why I'm telling you this is because this week, it could be one of those weeks where you really want to get together. You're ready to have fun. You're ready to, you know, maybe celebrate something. And your person just seems like they're detached, unavailable, or not around. And that could really stress you out. All right. The possibilities are still here, and it's saying take it day by day. All right. Now, if you're connected to an Aries through Pisces, let's see what I get. Aries, I still have feelings for you. Now, remember, this part's going to be a little bit different than this, but it could resonate with this. All right. But this maybe be for somebody that you're challenged with, or it could be anything. All right. So I still have feelings for you, Aries. Right. So no matter what's going on right now, it feels like, you know, I want to say something about feelings, right? We can have feelings, but it doesn't mean we're ready to take action, right? Maybe there's something else blocking you guys, right? So I still have feelings for you tells me something else has already gone on and you've been in a relationship with this person. And so it's not meant to keep you gripping or holding on, but it is to let you know that there's still maybe some unfinished business there. But again, it could be timing or other relationships involved. All right, Taurus, I'm not financially stable, right? So anytime a Taurus kind of pulls away or is not interested or not focusing on you, it's because they're consumed with their finances, their life, their work. And, you know, and when you're over consumed with your problems around money, some people avoid it and get in relationships and hope that they get saved some way, or hope that things get better and it doesn't bother you. But some people won't get in relationships or won't discuss their problems, especially if they're having financial problems. All right. And so that could be the block. Gemini, I would do it all again. All right. So somebody here really, really thinking that no matter what, they don't regret your relationship. They don't regret anything. All right. Maybe there was a reason why you guys couldn't make it work, or maybe why, you know, something, you had other circumstances. But Gemini, this tells me somebody, another Gemini especially, is like, I don't regret anything about this connection with you. You really have changed. You really have changed how you make somebody see or feel about things, right? So let's see, Cancer, secrets and deception, right? So maybe that was one of the biggest things. Maybe you guys were a secret relationship. Maybe there, you know, somebody, it weighed on somebody, the deception. Maybe there was, you know, something being held back. Nobody was transparent. It could be on both sides, one side, you know, it just, or somebody just was never truthful with you, just wasn't transparent. So just keep that in mind, that, you know, you got to dig a little bit. There's some red flags there with the Cancer. Now, they may be feeling like you have been keeping secrets, you're deceiving them, you haven't been always honest with them. And that may not resonate with everybody. So don't take it if it does. The ones that are quiet are the ones that are like, yeah, that could be me. All right. But it's not meant to judge or meant to shame in any ways. It's just saying here, I just feel like you're not being 100% honest with me. So Leo, I see. I wish we could go back to the way things were. All right. Leo also has you on their mind. Maybe some of you are like, it's impossible. We can't go back. Maybe they think it's impossible. You know, some of those impossibilities can be the Eight of Swords. You know, we just think we know that we can control everything. But, you know, God, divine, universe, whatever, has a way of, if you're meant to be together, and you will be, all right, you will be. Right? You don't have to worry about the how. Right? So it does feel like there is an energy here. Like, I really do wish we didn't get this, things didn't turn out the way it did, and we could turn around. So Virgo, I see, I need security. All right. So this can tell me a couple different things. And so again, buckle up. I need security could feel like one of you is needed to too much validation or codependent. All right. And there's nothing, again, wrong with that. We're all codependent on some degree. All right. But that could have been a problem in the relationship. It just felt like you're dealing with somebody that one of you was more independent than the other. And so it may not be too needy for somebody else, but maybe it was for this relationship. All right. But also this can tell me that your Virgo could be stuck in a situation because they rely financially on somebody else. And would you leave your comfort zone unless you knew for sure if you were a lot of people won't jump ship unless they know, and it doesn't make it right, does not make it right. But again, we're not here to judge, but people won't jump ship unless they know that they're 100% secure and that's what's going to happen, and their life will be the same or better, right? People don't want to jump ship and then struggle more. And so that's what I'm getting here for your Virgo, if it resonates on either side. Libra, please be patient with me. All right. So Libra is just clearly saying here the patient card. All right. Right now, maybe your Libra's life's out of balance and their focus is being pulled elsewhere. And you're feeling like, I'm not getting the attention that I deserve or want. Right. I want more of their attention. Don't let it ruin your day. It just, they're saying, I don't think they would be invested in you or keeping the door open if this one didn't really want to see it play out or go somewhere. All right. But they may feel like I I get triggered easy, or I have too much going on and I get overwhelmed and I pull away. That's it. It's the case, right? Or I get mad easy, or I overreact. The person overreacts. And it's just requiring patience and adjustments. And when we can see each other's shit and we can see our own shit, it really makes a difference. We sort of pick our battles and we don't get upset over once you awaken to other people's problems and you see what's really going on, you tend to not get upset about some things. Some things are not tolerable, but you end up seeing where, you know, sometimes one thing rolls into everything as a problem and it changes. So I am seeing that with a Libra, just being patient with them. Scorpio, you didn't see my tears with Scorpio, right? So obviously they're still processing or feeling some sort of pain or way about this connection, all right? Something really upset them. So whether it was something you did, they did, regardless, it's like they don't want you to see how vulnerable they are. All right, let's get a good one. Sagittarius, they are trying hard to earn your love, all right? Or it goes vice versa. So one of you is trying too hard to earn their love, and we don't need to try this hard. Sometimes when we want something too much, or we just keep going and going and going and going on it, we want to prove or justify ourselves. It ends up coming across as ick, desperate, anxious, nervous energy, a lack of confidence. And I just don't feel like, I feel like some of us don't realize we're doing it, and we all can find ourselves doing that at some point in our life. We don't realize what we're doing. We think we're being vulnerable, but it seems like it's working. At some point, it starts to work against the relationship. Now, maybe that for you, it could feel like with the Sagittarius, you're like, this person is just trying too hard, and or vice versa. So just keep that in mind. Try less, work less, don't try as hard. You may see different results when it comes to your Sagittarius. May not resonate with everybody. Capricorn, I want you so badly. All right, so there is a strong sexual connection here between you and a Capricorn. And you know it, right? Some of you may know it. You feel it. You get it. That doesn't always mean that there's... I'm just a realist, guys. I'm sorry. But it doesn't always mean wanting chemistry is in sexual chemistry. Does not always guarantee commitment and long-term relationship. And we all know it. But when you want somebody so badly, desire takes over, logic goes out the window, and you say what you want to say, and you believe certain promises, and you just live in the moment because it feels so damn good. But when you crash, sometimes you burn, and then you realize, why did I do that again, right? So that can be that kind of energy. But for some of you, it could just be clearly that, you know, your Capricorn is saying, dude, I want you. I want you so badly, but maybe there's other circumstances going on, all right? And I can't do this just yet. Or maybe they're coming in and they're going to say, I'm coming in. They're going to come in and say, look, I want this too bad. I really do. I really want this to happen, all right? So Aquarius, jealous and possessive. So there's some jealousy and possessiveness that is getting in the way of this relationship. Maybe they feel like you're too possessive, you're too jealous. You know, maybe you're saying, no, it's them. Either way, if they're jealous and possessive, you got to create boundaries. You can't dance around with that. You got to be strict with your boundaries. It can be cute at first, jealousy and possessiveness, but it definitely will bite you in the ass later. It might make you feel needed or wanted, but when you don't want it anymore, it's going to be awful energy. All right. So that is what's happening here. Now, if they make you jealous and then you're feeling more needy, this is where that's the devil energy too. It's like, we got to figure out, is this worth it, or what's going on here? Why am I getting jealous? Am I really jealous because it's my own issue, or are they making me jealous? That's two different things. Are they intentionally trying to make me jealous? All right. So I can see that could be a block or a problem in the relationship, and it's one that needs to be, you know, nipped in the bud, right? And that was Aquarius. So let's see Pisces. All right. It's their turn to chase after you. All right. So they don't want you to chase after them anymore. They don't want you to chase after them. They want you to sit back and enjoy the ride, right? They want you, you know, it's like this person, your Pisces may enjoy the fun part. you know, enjoy the hide and seek, right? Whatever it is, right? And this can be playful too in a relationship that's long term. All right. If you're the one that's always the one doing, give it a break for a while. As hard as that can be, you may enjoy somebody else when you finally let them take the lead. And so I am getting that they want to be the ones to pursue you, but that means that you have to be comfortable with whenever they choose to decide to chase you, right, or move forward. That comes with confidence. So I would say find something else to do, or make it seem like you're unavailable. If you know, that might get them to really, you know, bug out a little bit. All right, so that's what I have for my Geminis. All right, we're moving on to Cancer. So I might just keep these a mess like that, just because I'm going to be doing that the whole time. All right. Cancer. Oh, wow, these are getting long. It's going to be one of these days. All right. All right, Cancer. All right, Cancer, let's see their feelings, their energy. All right, Six of Wands, overall energy at the bottom of the deck. So somebody wanting your attention, somebody looking really good. This could be kind of superficial energy as well. So having confidence this week. The overall energy looks like getting through something with somebody, finally seeing, getting close to the finish line, right? Finally knowing where you stand. Maybe somebody is finally giving you that validation in a way, like giving you signs that they're interested. You know, standing out in a crowd. All right. Maybe this is about this week, you standing out in a crowd. Somebody is thinking that about you. Like, you know, there's a way you carry yourself. This is also an energy too, that there could be a lot of onlookers, you know, somebody who gets a lot of attention, and they like a lot of attention, and somebody who cares about what people think about them. So keep that in mind throughout the reading, that, you know, if a person is worried about their mask being shown, or you seeing their true self, or them being vulnerable, or they're trying to keep up a facade for everybody around them, you know, keep face, that can show up. And for somebody who's a water sign, sometimes that can be hard to deal with, because your feelings are picking up on something else, and you know, you can see somebody for who they really are, or what you're really feeling. And you, in that aspect, you may not always get the validation you're looking for, because somebody here tries to keep things more surface level. All right. But it does. And there it is, the Queen of Swords underneath that. Somebody may, you know, and that can be a very social, very chatty, very, and so somebody here likes a lot of attention from people, loves to talk to people, loves to connect with people. And that can be hard to deal with. And so it's an overall energy. So it could even be you, and you're dealing with somebody who's opposite, or vice versa. You both are the same way. And so you kind of battle for attention as well. Like, who's going to get what attention? Maybe this person wants your attention. How do you know when to chase? How do you know when to, you know, pull back your energy? And it also can bring up jealousy, right? Because it seems like somebody's always getting everybody's attention, and you don't know where you stand. All right, so just keep in mind the Queen of Swords is showing up underneath that. You could be connected with Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But this does tell you to kind of step above your emotions a little bit here and try to see the bigger picture here. Yeah, somebody may be wearing a mask. We all wear masks. We all wear masks in different places, different ways. You know, if we were all just vulnerable everywhere we went, take it from me, you'll get torn apart, ripped apart, boundaries taken advantage of, blurred boundaries, you know, so you got to keep a mask up somewhat to protect yourself. All right. But don't read into it too much is what I'm getting here as well. Let's see your person's feelings right now. 5 of Swords. Let's see their biggest challenge with the connection. The Tower card. All right. And let's see how they view you. The Queen of Wands. I feel like your person's dealing with some big dilemma right now. Obviously, with that Tower card, they're avoiding some sort of change that they know they have to face. They're in denial about a situation that is happening regardless. All right. Their attention is drawn to you. So this is clear with the Queen of Wands showing up in you're hard to resist. You definitely stand out in a crowd. So everything I said in the beginning here really does make sense. I mean, and also it's saying, Spirit saying to you right now, you know, don't dim your light or become like everybody else. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Right? If you're dealing with a person that gets a lot of attention, those people are fighting for your person's attention. You don't fight for their attention. They're gonna pick the one that's not fighting for their attention. That's just the way, you know. And you're the Queen of Wands, so it looks like you definitely stand up above and beyond. Very beautiful. You get what you want, but there may be a lot of drama and chaos around you. And your person may be trying to deny all this, right? They're trying to keep everybody at bay. They're trying to say everything they need to say. They're trying to please everybody, people pleaser. And this can confuse you, you know, but it looks like your person's world may be crumbling. They might be putting up a good face. Like I said, that mask, they're not happy with it. They may be avoiding change. Maybe they weren't expecting so much to come in. They could be dealing with a lot of naysayers, a lot of negative energy, a lot of mental stress. It seems like they're feeling defeated in their situation, but what they're trying to avoid is the unavoidable, a Tower moment where you hit reality, and reality is like you can't avoid your reality. You can't act like you're up here all day long and not see what you're doing to others, or you can't kind of tuck all your problems underneath the rug and think it's not going to come up and bite you in the ass. And you may be dealing with somebody that you've been kind of, you know, struggling with, right? You got to stay confident with this person. Maybe they're going through a job loss. Maybe they're going through a divorce. Maybe they're going through a reality check and they're trying to deny it. All right. And so that's hard, but it looks like you could be what's drawing them. I mean, they're seeing you. And maybe ultimately they want this freedom, but they don't know how to break free. Right? They don't want to look a certain way, especially if your relationship is somewhat secret or has been kind of a, you know, just not traditional, not conventional, or, you know, it's just not what they're used to. And, you know, like I said, they're trying to keep up a facade that's crumbling. All right. You're about to see somebody real come through. And let's see how you view them. I see the Ace of Wands. I mean, you see the pure potential in this person. And ultimately, it feels like whatever you're manifesting is coming through for you. But your person, unfortunately, you cannot watch a Tower card, because you try to watch somebody go through a Tower moment. It's like, well, some of you may grab some popcorn and sit back and say, I knew this was going to happen. And it can feel like I knew all along. I knew, you know, it's just like they didn't want to be real, or I could see. Remember, your feelings can feel what's going on, but you can feel what others are not ready to see just yet, right? And there's no justifying that. And if somebody's not ready to feel those feelings or be real with themselves, they're going to deny you, and it's going to hurt your feelings. It's going to make you feel crushed, right? And so this is what I'm seeing here. You may be manifesting something in, but for some of you, if you know your person's going through a hard time, you can't watch a clock. That's the only thing I'm seeing here. So what is your biggest challenge with them? And I'm seeing the Three of Pentacles, right? It's like getting together, making it work. You're waiting on them. You know, you want to support them, or you want to work things out with them. You want to move forward. You want to build something with this person. I can see it. But with the Three of Pentacles, it's really saying right now, holding space and just being supportive of this person, because it looks like they're going to have a huge awakening here. And I have Aries energy, and I have Aries, Leo, Sag energy here. All right. So big, huge awakening happening. What does Spirit want you to know? And then I'll look at Aries to Pisces, the Empress card. You got to remember, it's already forming. There's nothing more that you've already, you've already passed certain stages in this connection. You've already sparked things up. You've already planted the seed. Now things are working for you, and you've got to lean back and trust. It's only your fears that tell you something's not going to work out. And then you try to make something or control a situation. And this is saying, let go of control and, stay grounded. You've already planted the roots here. You have Taurus and Libra energy. So that's what I got for you. Let's see Aries through Pisces now. If you're connected with somebody in a complicated, whatever kind of situation, if that did not resonate, let's see if I can get another message for you. Aries, I will find my way back to you one day. So again, Aries could be going through a breakthrough, a breakup, tower moment, right? And a lot going on right now. But you've left an impression on your Aries, okay? And so it does seem like you're in a temperance energy with an Aries, which means, we all hate to hear this, I know, but the temperance card, find something else to do while things unfold for you. Don't lose yourself in a situation, right? Because it's who you are that they're attracted to. It's not the part of you become when you become desperate, right? Or when you want something and push at something. So Taurus, let's see. They suffer seeing you happy with another. That might not resonate with everybody, but a Taurus here really may regret the decision they made. They may be wearing a mask. They may be afraid to admit that they thought it was going to be better wherever they went. This could be one of their epiphanies this week. They may be, knocking themselves, knocking their head against a wall, right? It really bothers them. So also remember too, for some of you, if you're in a place where you're really suffering from a Taurus or they've moved on from you, you've got to remember the ultimate win is to be happy. Whether you got to fake it till you make it, right? I don't know if that's the best advice there, but to be honest with you, I know when you're living your best life, that's when you know that somebody can take a look at you and see what they don't have anymore, or see what they did, right? Or see what they lost. And maybe some people will just be super happy for you, but that's what I'm getting here with the Taurus. Gemini, silence creates uncertainty. So be honest. All right, so this could be a little bit difficult here, Cancer. This may be for a cross watcher. You may be stressing somebody out if you are silent. So, or if you're afraid to be honest about your true feelings with somebody and you're trying to avoid them, but they won't stop calling or texting or connecting with you. You've got to be straight up and honest with somebody. It's really hard right now because people try to read into everything and reinvent boundaries, right? Blocks anymore don't say anything. Blocks are just a challenge, right? So sometimes if you're trying to hold something back, you really got to be honest with somebody. Now, for your Gemini, Cancer, honestly, maybe they are trying to be honest with you and they don't know how to be honest with you about a situation or about how they feel. Especially if you're blocked, they may not be wanting to get back together at this time. It doesn't mean that it's uncertain forever. But it also, for some of you too, they just don't know how to be 100% transparent with you. So keep that in mind. And maybe there is something deeper. Maybe that's that mask I was talking about. But again, this reading up here says somebody's mask is going to be revealed this week. Maybe it is your Gemini. Cancer, let's see what I get for you, Cancer. I find you so attractive, Cancer. So you really got somebody pulled towards your energy. That's Queen of Wands, right? There's no doubt about it. You're very magnetic right now. So this is where you find your confidence. You stand up in that Queen of Wands energy. You just know what you know, and you just know you got it. This is how you're drawing somebody in, right? The more confident and control you have of the situation. So you really are influencing your Cancer, and it may be ultimately it's like I can't resist you. So Leo, please forgive me. So you get an apology here with your Leo. It could be a multitude of things. Please I apologize. Please forgive me for not being honest with you. Please forgive me for not being able to let down my guards. Please forgive me for being superficial and needing these things. Please forgive me for caring about what other people think, my decisions, whatever it is. You may get an apology from your Leo. Virgo, I'm not financially stable. So this one's coming through too. So Virgo may be feeling insecure about their finances, which means they may be not leaving a situation because they're dependent on somebody else. All right. They also may be just worried about their finances and have no room for a relationship. They don't feel confident enough to start a relationship. So if somebody is connecting with you, they may connect with you because they like you or they're interested, but they may not commit to you or be consistent with you because they're not ready for that just yet. They just don't feel ready. Libra, please be patient with me with a Libra too as well. All right. So they may be dealing with a lot of internal conflict, external conflict, feeling overwhelmed. And, maybe they get triggered easy. They overreact. And I'm getting the Temperance energy there. Can you forgive me for, can you be patient? Can you, maybe they're going through a Tower moment and they're needing you to understand that if somebody's life's falling apart, it's really hard to be mushy-gushy or be consistent and involved with somebody new if they're going through something. All right. So that's all I'm getting for your Libra. Now, Scorpio, I want to start over. Scorpio, definitely here, feeling it, missing you, wanting a clean slate, wanting to just go back to square one. Sagittarius, do I still have a chance? So Sag is not wanting to give up on this. All right. They could be having some epiphany, realization, a moment here of truth, things kind of reality shattering in front of them. We got to be, these reality moments, can be tough, big ones, but it looks like they want a second chance with you. Capricorn, you inspire me. All right. So it does look like a Capricorn is keeping their eyes on you. Maybe they're trying to avoid what they need to do or, the change that they need to make. But it looks like whatever pull you have on your Capricorn, they ultimately cannot avoid what's coming. All right. The inevitable is coming. 8, 9, 10. Aquarius, I compare others to you. So nobody quite stands up like you do. So remember, you are the Queen of Wands. It seems like you're the best they've ever had. Or they really want this and they just, whatever's going on with the two of you, it seems like they can't move on from you. And whoever they're dating or connecting to has to meet the same requirements or have to have similarities as you. Pisces, I feel like I ruined everything. All right, so a Pisces is feeling some regret, maybe even a 5 of Cups. So it seems like a little bit more time here for them to come around, but it does feel like things are weighing on them. Hello, Hannah. Hello, Learning. Well, the reason, if you watch readings after readings after readings, which is why I try to tell you what you should be doing according to the advice card, is because a reading may resonate with your situation, but if it resonates completely with your situation, it doesn't mean it's going to change. The outcome only changes if you change something about what you're perceiving or what you're doing. That is the only way a reading is going to resonate with, is only going to fully resonate, where you're going to see change. So when a reading tells you what you want to hear, or it feels like it's vibing with what you're in and it's resonating with the loop you're in or with the situation you're in, it's not a guarantee that it's going to change. Because tarot's not a prediction tool. It's more like this could be a possibility tool if we're on this timeline and we're in alignment. And that's the part a lot of people skim past. And then readers like myself who try to explain that over and over and over get discredited because readings don't turn out the way you want them to, or over and over and over, it doesn't resonate, you know? So all I can say is entertainment. Don't put so much faith in the external world, right? Don't put so much faith that you already have the answers inside. These are just trying to guide you back to your truth. And yes, my membership, I do try to talk to you about how to make it work for you. GG, FG. All right. So hopefully that wasn't an attack, by the way. That was just me explaining. And maybe I came across kind of mommy-like, right? All right. Let's see. We got Leo. All right, Leo. These are getting long. I guess I don't know, I missed you guys, or I am just in the mood to really do some deep readings. All right, 121. All right, whoop, that's my phone. Let's see, put these in. All right, I'm making a mess. All right, Leo. Thank you. All right, Leo. Let's see what's going on with you. All right. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy showing up for you right here. Right? Really in feelings, relationships maybe deepening right now, you know, stepping up, feelings growing. I love this energy for you. All right. Thank you. All right, King of Swords. So maybe somebody who's been a little bit distant, maybe detached a little bit. It looks like you could really be finally having a breakthrough this week. You have two people showing up for you. All right. Two people showing up for you, air sign and a water sign. So maybe some of you have a choice. Some of you have options. Some of you are torn. Some of you, you know, and that's okay. You know, we can be torn and, you know, it's like, I don't know which way to go, right? Maybe this week the King of Cups is saying, who's feeling more emotionally fulfilling, right? Who's really, where are you feeling called to? Where are you feeling emotionally pulled to? What's your intuition telling you? A Scorpio energy, when you got a feeling for somebody and somebody meets you on that depth, it's really hard to, you get distracted. It's really hard to see anybody else because you want somebody to meet you on such a depth, and maybe you've connected with somebody and that's happened. But also the problem with that too is that if there's a choice or other people or juggling situations, that can become very, very difficult to live, a very complicated situation, because you may be with somebody, but your heart's with somebody else and you can't do anything about it. So I'm just sending you a lot of love because those situations can be very difficult. But again, this could be somebody here that's been very detached this week that may be starting to open up and realizing that they need to express themselves a lot more. Maybe they've gone cold. Maybe they've had time to think. You know, so let's see person's feelings. I see the Page of Swords. You got a thinker here on your mind. You got somebody here who needs to process in their mind how they're feeling more than just jumping in with gut feelings, right? It's somebody that doesn't trust their gut as much. It's like, I've got to analyze the situation. All right, so this tells me too, a lot of communication could be possible this week when it comes to your person. If you feel like they've been detached or holding back, again, this is also showing me that they're just trying to work through things, figure out what happened or figure out what to say or what to do. What's their biggest challenge with you in the situation? A commitment. So this could be some of you are in a commitment. This could be somebody is non-committal, or they're afraid to commit just yet. And or both of you are in relationships. It could be one of those. All right. And, you know, to be honest too, one thing, and this is important to know, that it could be, I'm just trying to question whether or not we share the same values. Somebody may feel you, your person may feel really close to you, but they pull back because they're like, there's somebody here who is not going to jump in just based on feelings. They may have been down that road before and got burned. You know, they can have feelings all day long for you, but if they feel like you two want different things or have other things going on that just don't mesh up, that could be a problem. And I got Taurus energy here as well. So let's see how they view you. 6 of Pentacles. I mean, so they really have a lot of respect for you and really see possibilities here. Let's see how you view them. And I see the 9 of Swords. All right, what's your biggest challenge with them? The Fool card. I can see on again, off again right now. All right. It's stressing you out. This person's energy, back and forth, back and forth. What does Spirit think you should do? And I see the 5 of Swords. I think I already did the reading at the beginning when I said complicated situation. It's like you're being pulled in 2 different directions. You may want more from somebody, but your person is showing up as a fool energy, which means we got to trust this without knowing the outcome. I don't know where this is going. So it's easy to pull this person back into your energy because there's feelings there, but then they withdraw from you because logic tells them, you know, we don't know where this can go. I don't know where this can go right now. And it's going to mean something different with each and every one of you if there's a block. It's not that they don't care about you or respect you or want this or want to reconcile with you, but commitment seems to be the issue right now if somebody has other commitments. And this leaves you feeling a mess, all this worry about somebody. And I'm seeing here, you're worrying about something that right now can't be figured out, whatever that means to you. It's like a no-win situation right now. You know, somebody keeps coming back in and because they want something with you. But right now the situation might be so complicated that they can only give you so much. But your feelings are running so deep for this person that you can't handle you feel rejected and you feel deceived when they pull away their energy from you or when you don't hear from them. And so I do see that they're coming back in. So you see the Fool card is somebody that's going to keep coming back in because they are, in a sense, a fool for you. And you keep going back in this pattern with this person. But for whatever reason it is, the block, right? Let's see if I can get another one. The block, the 3 of Swords could be a third-party situation here. And it feels like constant disappointment for you and constant heartbreak for you every time this person pulls away. So it's one of these things where, you know, make a decision of what you want in this situation, especially if you can't have the outcome that you desire right now. Right? It seems like you've said, done, explained yourself, and you know, and it just seems like whatever case you're pleading, your person is able to detach a lot more than you are, right? And that can make it very complicated for you and disheartening. So it seems like your choice this week may be your own self detaching from a situation emotionally if this person pulls back from you. Because it doesn't mean they don't want to be in a connection with you, but they're lacking commitment right now. And that's what I have for you, Leo. That was a wild one, right? So you may have options this week. Maybe there is a couple people you're dealing with. Let's see what I can get with Aries through Pisces. Yeah, complicated situations like that come up. I mean, I just could keep going and going, and I didn't want to. Aries, I see a reconciliation on the horizon. Aries definitely wants to be around you, wants to see where things go. The only thing is that you're stuck in a loop of on again, off again. All right. Things tend to start up fun, but then they don't seem to go very far. Taurus, let's see. Taurus, I miss being with you. Taurus wants to be with you, wants to connect with you. You may find that they're reaching out this week or connecting with you. Gemini, I need security. So this is a big one. This tells me that if there's another situation going on, your person is not willing to leave their stability to be in another relationship just yet. So they may be hanging on to another situation because it's comfortable. And or they, this could be you're feeling like a Gemini is inconsistent with you as well too, and you need security with them and you're feeling unstable with them. Cancer, all right, your partner is different from your usual types. You may be misreading your Cancer. And so if they pull back their energy or disengage, you may feel like something's off. This could be asking you to see things differently, but they also may be viewing you like you're just different from their usual type, and they're just trying to test the waters, maybe see what's going on here. So they may react differently to you because they're not used to you or the type of person or personality you are. All right. So Leo, will you ever make things right? So maybe you and another Leo, I've had this a couple times over the past couple weeks. It feels like one of you feel like the other is wrong, and nobody wants to, or somebody's in denial, or somebody's being stubborn. And so I am feeling like with you and your Leo, it can go either way, but it feels like they want you to make something right. Virgo, I want you back. All right. So Virgo definitely doesn't want to end this connection just yet with you. Libra, I have sexual fantasies about you. All right. So very sexual connection. Again, that could be why it's on again, off again as well. Lack of commitment. Scorpio, our story isn't over yet. All right. So obviously you have a block there with a Scorpio. And it's just a matter of whatever that block is for you guys. So you can't wait on it, but it does show me unfinished business. Sagittarius, this was just a fling. So this could be heartbreaking for you, especially if there's a third party. Maybe it was meant to just be short-lived. And that's what I'm getting, maybe you thought it was supposed to be more, maybe they led you on, whatever the case, but I am seeing here that they're thinking that it was just a fling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Capricorn, I still have feelings for you. All right. So things aren't over between you and a Capricorn. Aquarius, comparing yourself diminishes your beauty. So this can be a trigger, so don't take it if it doesn't resonate. If you're constantly comparing yourself to others or exes or just everybody, or you're insecure about that, this can be interfering in the relationship. They may be feeling like you're undervaluing yourself, and it's making you look less attractive. Now, it could be vice versa too, right? Maybe this person is feeling they're constantly comparing themselves to you, your ex, and so forth. All right. So maybe that's making them feel insecure as well too. Or if you're comparing them to your exes, that's a big no-no. All right. So that's what I'm getting here with your Capricorn. Aquarius, I abandon people to make myself feel important. So what I am seeing here too is this is also, I would rather pull away before I look stupid or vulnerable. All right. So Aquarius may just detach or may pull away you know, so they have some sort of, they can keep themselves together. It may be just a defense mechanism. All right. But the thing is though, is if it's on again, off again with you, it's causing more damage for you than pleasure. Pisces, they fear losing your love and affection. All right. So Pisces definitely wants to see where this goes, and whatever's going on between the two of you, if you guys can't seem to settle it, there is a big fear that you guys are going to lose each other over this. All right. All right. I love the pushback. Yeah. I'm glad they're hidden. You know, sometimes I hit too much. I don't think people like it. I hit nerves in myself too, you know? The hard thing about these kind of messages is that when you're trying to decipher, or you're trying to read into chaos or read into confusion or complication, eventually you get to a point where you're like, why am I even dealing with this? You know, because I hear a lot of us say that, or a lot of you guys say that, and it's like, that might be the message, you know? And it's just that, you know, you try to figure out, you want to make something work, you want to try and understand, you want to, and sometimes there's just no understanding about what makes another person tick, what triggers another person, and so forth. But you can't say that. Some of you have gotten to a point where you may be aware and you're like, I won't deal with this shit. But some people aren't there yet. That's what, when people, you know, are like, oh, I wouldn't deal with that. Somebody else might be right now. And we've all could find ourselves before we had to learn that lesson. And that's what I try to think of when I'm doing readings that could trigger people. Hello, Moonflower. All right. Hello, homeschooler. Long time. All right, so we got Virgo. All right, let's see what's going on with Virgo. Virgo, you were having some tension there with your Aries and Taurus. All right, let's see what's going on. All right, so your overall energy is the Temperance card, Sagittarius energy. I have the Five of Swords. Things look really confusing for you right now. Give it time. You know, it's like right now, if you're trying to figure something out, the whys, the hows, the what the hell's going on, you're trying to plead your case, you're trying to figure out the uncertainties. You know, you just feel like you're getting a lot of mixed messages. I feel like right now it could be a struggle for you to get the truth. The Temperance card is, you know, the truth always does come out. You know, it just is what it is. Eventually clarity coming in. All right. All right, let's see how they feel about you. The Empress card. Their biggest challenge, the Seven of Cups. You deserve better right now. I can already see. You're confused. I feel the love. I know there's love. The way they feel about you. You need love. You need better. You need more. And their challenge is, you know, maybe sometimes they can't meet your fantasy. You know, you could definitely, you just have this way about you. You want this beautiful life. You want a beautiful relationship. You want your soulmate. You want your commitment. And, you know, I'm already seeing the challenge they have, though, is expectations. And, you know, they can't fulfill all your expectations, or maybe they feel like they can't. And that's where the conflict arises. It's not that they don't find you very attractive or beautiful, and that they don't see the possibilities, which could be why you drive this person crazy or you drive them back in. But it looks like, you know, they feel like you could have anybody you wanted. You have options. And, you know, it feels like this person just doesn't want to hold you back from, and I know some of you are like, well, I don't care, you know, why I don't care, but obviously they do. This could be somebody here that questions whether or not they even want a relationship long-term with anybody. Or they might be uncertain what they want right now, and they value you and don't want you caught up in their uncertainty. How do they view you? Ace of Cups. Very open-hearted, very loving. And, you know, you've got a spot in their heart. You're a gem. How do you view them? The Hanged Man. Like, just stagnant and still, and nothing ever changes. It just feels like it's not going anywhere. You have Pisces energy, Taurus, Libra. And definitely can be a hard situation to be in, right? What's your biggest challenge with this person? The Justice card. You keep going against what you already know and your own integrity for this person, and you just, you know, you just can't seem to get on the same page. It feels like this person leaves you unfulfilled and questioning everything. And they don't justify their actions. You don't get a reason. You don't get the truth. You don't get, and you go against your own moral compass with this person all the time because you see the possibilities and you're a dreamer. Your boundaries are blurred here with that Seven of Cups. But you have a lot of love for this person, and this person gives you something. And just not enough to justify. You know, you got to make a choice. It's just not enough to justify this person. You know, it's almost like they go quiet. It's like crickets when it's time to commit or time to be honest or explain themselves. The problem is the Seven of Cups. All the options they give you are not good enough for you. That's what it comes down to. And that's not a bad thing, but it's a bad thing for you because you still want to make it work with them. Because you can feel the love, you feel the potential. But everything they give is only just enough to give a little bit of hope or wishful thinking. And then nothing ever changes. You know, it becomes a point where it's disbelief at times or unbelievable at times, but really the Justice card is like, even with the Five of Swords, like you just don't know why, how, why does something keep happening when I know my worth? And you got Libra energy here too as well. But I'm seeing here, you may not get the answers you're looking for right now. They might not even know why. They might, to me, the only thing I can come up with here with the Seven of Cups is everything I've said. You deserve a lot more. You have a lot you want in your life. I don't know if I can meet your expectations. I do give you my love, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. Can be a lot of different things. And so they go silent rather than giving you excuses or giving you a reason. Time will tell with this person. You will get clarity. But this can be a difficult road of getting out of your head. What does Spirit think you should do? And as like the Knight of Wands, you got to go have fun and don't let this shit weigh you down. You have the Ace of Cups here, the way they see you. And this tells me here, you know, somebody, there's no question that there's no feelings for you, which brings them back to you. But the same cycle happens over and over. It's a karmic cycle. So that's not going to change until anything's possible. This person finally decides to settle in and own up to their shit. But that's the challenge you're having with them. They won't. So you got to have fun and go out and explore and go find some fun. You know, there's no doubt in the Temperance card, you'll get the answers in the future, but you can't sit around and wait for this person to make a choice because it's just going to drain you. And right now the Hanged Man is telling me you're sitting in a waiting period, a waiting game. You could be dealing with the Knight of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag, and it also could be somebody here that is somebody that is impulsive, reckless at times. You know, they have these impulses to reach out to you, sexual chemistry, very attracted to you. You know, you ever wake up one day and you're like, I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to be in a happy diet. You know, I'm going to get on a diet, whatever. And then 2 days later, that's out the window. You know, I hate to say that, but that's kind of what the situation is like. It's like somebody sees the possibilities, they get excited, a fire sign. That is why when desire and chemistry take over, you cannot make a life decision or get pregnant or have any of these things happen when you're dealing with somebody who is in this kind of inspirational, fast, fun energy, because you're taking a risk with somebody who is very passionate in the moment. And somebody like this, you know, may not always see the consequences of their actions because a person like this tends to be happy-go-lucky. Oh, it ain't that bad. You know, you're taking it to heart. You're too serious, diminishing or downplaying your emotions. And that's part of that character. That's part of that archetype. They want to just keep things superficial in a way, right? So they're not always going to see the consequences of their actions, or they choose consciously to ignore it. And that can be very disheartening for somebody like you who is in love. This person does offer you love. And this person, part of this is karma for the South Node in Virgo right now. So this could be affecting a lot of people, not just Virgos. But this whole time that it's been there has been a lot about our self-worth and about surrendering with the Pisces North Node. And so that this could be what's happening here. And it's about not questioning that this person doesn't, your value. You cannot value yourself based off of this person's actions. This is not, you're the Empress. You're showing up as the Empress. You're not, it's not, you're trying to make sense of a situation that you can't make sense of right now. And your person's not ready to own up to it, especially if they don't even see that what the problem is. And that can suck. But again, I'm going to go into the future with the Temperance card takes us down a path into the future. And this always tells me that, you know, things will come into alignment and things will start to come clear and you will know why. You'll see why. And it's going to be for your benefit. So let's see Aries through Pisces. What is, you know, Aries through Pisces right now. So if you're connected, remember this can connect to this reading, but it doesn't have to, this part. All right, Aries. You're doing too much with an Aries. Balance is needed. So they may feel overwhelmed. You may feel like you're not doing enough. You may feel like, why are they not giving back to me? This can be a pattern of, you know, you think if you give more, they're going to finally see you and they're going to appreciate you or they're going to value you. And, you know, and you're eventually expecting them to pay it back or pay it forward. And it doesn't always happen. You're doing too much. You take a step back a little bit, give them a little bit of space to come forth and do more for you. All right. So I am seeing you're trying too hard or doing too much for an Aries right now in the current energy. Taurus, I have trouble with intimacy. So when you guys start to get really close, they pull away. You may be ready and they're not. And intimacy does not mean sex. So don't get confused with that. For some people may know this. I've had to understand that too in my life. Intimacy is when we want to talk about feelings after we had sex, is more like intimacy. You know, we want to talk about where each other's at. We want to get closer and really get to know each other. And intimacy can be sex. Some people bond more during that, but it doesn't mean both people are bonding the way you want to when you're having sex. It's the intimacy afterwards, right? And your Taurus is saying, I have trouble opening up. I have trouble with intimacy. And if you're somebody who needs them to open up and you're very forthcoming, you're very open, and you're not afraid of your own or to open up and just dive in, they will tend to feel to you like they're pulling away from you, and they will. They'll pull away, but and it's like you're going to be immediately pulled back. Like, what did I do wrong? You're connecting with somebody who's not ready to be intimate, and we can't fix another person. If sometimes maybe you can help them see, but that takes time too. But just remember, you're not here to fix anybody. And you might be up for a long time with that. Gemini, a reconciliation is on the horizon. So this tells me that whatever space is going on between you and a Gemini, don't try to figure it out right now. Go back to the reading. Don't try and figure it out right now. Sometimes I have found through reading for people where I have been an asshole and didn't realize it. And sometimes, it just takes waking up sometimes to see where our habitual actions or our reactions can be kind of toxic to other people. And it's a learning process. That's all it is a learning process. And so when we take space from people, that's why you hear me saying, just look at where you were triggered or what happened or what's the root of the problem here. Because that's the only way we can figure it out. It's not saying you're the problem. It's saying what's causing the problem. What's my action? What's their reaction? What's their action? What's my reaction? Because that's where a reconciliation is on the horizon, like they definitely want to reconcile. But the repeat could happen as well, too, if we don't figure that out. Cancer. I don't trust you. So either you don't trust them or they don't trust you, but somebody doesn't trust the other. And without trust, we can't build a relationship. We can try to. And that's just the bottom line. There's no trust here. Leo, I am in a committed relationship. So this may not be for everybody, obviously. So those of you Virgos that know a Leo is in a relationship, they're not looking as though they're ready to leave that relationship. It's like they're declaring, I'm in a committed relationship, right? If it were to say I'm committed to you, and I know there is a card in here that says that, I would say they're still committed to this. It doesn't mean they're not attracted to you or don't fantasize about you, but that's the block for some of you. Virgo, I need security. So Virgo and Virgo, one of you is not giving the other emotional security or commitment or security. And if you don't feel stable in a relationship, right out the get-go, you're building a relationship built on uncertainty. And then a lot of you are getting emotionally attached. I've done this. Emotionally attached to people who haven't even declared stability with you yet. And the more they are inconsistent, the more you're falling in love with them. And you're falling in love with who they might be or who they might become. But your nervous system is on overdrive, and you started off secure, and this relationship is going to make you feel insecure. So the biggest challenge right now is challenging the relationships you're in and asking yourself if you feel stable in them, and not to give your heart so quickly. It doesn't mean you can't pursue it, but the attachment and the emotional attachment to somebody that hasn't given you stability yet is what drives people suffering. So it looks like you're not getting emotional security from another Virgo, but also it looks like another Virgo may be in a relationship where they are afraid to leave a relationship because they are feeling secure or they're taken care of. Libra, your partner is different from your usual types, all right? So it looks like you and Libra are just having some confusion with personality types and attachment types and love languages, whatever it is, right? So you may be misreading them. They may be misreading you, all right? So maybe there's a, just trying to look at them as different, right? That you might assume that they are thinking something or doing something because somebody else in your life has done it. But this person could be totally different. And that's what I'm getting. You guys are just different. And it's about maybe it can work out, maybe it can't if we're not used to or comfortable with this kind of personality. Scorpio, will you ever make things right, Virgo? Can you ever make things right? So Scorpio may be feeling scorned, feeling like you've done something that has hurt them, and just wondering if you'll ever make it right with them, right? Could be reversed in that case, though, because I understand you're reading this. You're probably wanting your Scorpio to make things right, and they know it. But will they ever? That's in question. Sagittarius, I admire you. So you got their attention. That's a start. They definitely have their eye on you, and they definitely think highly of you. Capricorn, I am so sorry. Sounds like you may have apology coming in. Doesn't always make it right. And it doesn't always mean it's going to reconcile the relationship, but it does show maybe your Capricorn owning up and taking accountability. Aquarius, I want you back. So it looks like a reconciliation or an attempt at a reconciliation with an Aquarius. And Pisces, I wish we could go back to the way things were. So there is a longing for you, a longing for reconciliation. All right. Libra. All right, I'm probably going to have to change the time for the other. You're welcome. I am going live at probably 5 now with the sign up edit. So if you guys want a personal reading afterwards, I didn't realize today was going to go so long. Apparently, I find myself back in that time where I just can't. I'm glad, Christina. Thank you. Hello, Gothic. All right, guys, let's see for Libra. Libra, 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 Libra. All right, so things still haven't really taken form yet. The High Priestess, all right, is showing something in the making. So this to me is holding back a little bit, the energy right now, being okay with not knowing exactly how it's going to take form, what's happening. So this does tell me, Libra, that something is in the making. But we can start to deceive ourselves with the High Priestess and not trust ourselves because we're not seeing it happen yet in our reality, right? So we've had some sort of inspiration, and we're feeling good. We feel like we're in alignment. We feel like we're ready. And then the next step is, where is it? When's it going to start really coming in, right? And so this week in a relationship, somebody may be holding back a little bit from you, right? They really may be kind of just trying to figure out how things could really happen, or just not quite sure how to make things happen just yet. And this can be a secret admirer for some of you. Maybe you're admiring somebody, you're wondering what they're up to. This is also telling you, if you're spying on somebody or sneaking on somebody, or just trying to observe somebody. I don't want to make it seem like you're spying, but when you're interested in somebody, it is showing here that don't get caught up in the circumstances and what you see. Don't be deceived by what you're seeing in front of you, because things haven't really taken form yet, which means anything is possible. And if you're in the High Priestess energy and you start to observe everything, and then you start to see something that triggers you, you will start to you'll think it's your intuition, but it's not. It's your fear taking over. So it's still too soon. You've got something working in the background here. Somebody here really falling for you. Somebody, maybe you're waiting for somebody. I see a crush here. Maybe you have a crush on somebody. Maybe, this is leveling up or a new beginning coming in, but you're like, when? And I get it, when, right? Tarot can't tell you when. This is just tell you maybe how. Let's see. You got Pisces energy. Cancer energy. Let's see your person's feelings. 7 of Pentacles. They might be just, feeling like, I don't know, they deciding what this could be. Maybe they're not even noticing it yet or thinking about it yet. Let's see. Their challenge, the Justice card. You could be dealing with somebody who's kind of busy or avoiding the situation right now. Maybe not ready to be authentic yet. Maybe not ready to be real yet. Not ready to express themselves yet. Maybe you are waiting. This could be an indicator that you're waiting for somebody to make something right. And your person feels like they just need, they wait in. They just need you to wait. Be patient. So let's see how they view you. The Knight of Wands, right? So it doesn't have anything to do with attraction for you, or you seem to be having fun doing your thing. You're looking good. So you inspire somebody. You got them thinking about possibilities here. Are you dealing with somebody that's going through a separation with somebody here? Because that's indicated there too, or you're going through a separation. So it could be somebody's pulling their energy back from you until you have finished something that you're working on. How do you view them? The Empress card. Golden. What's your biggest challenge with them? The Hierophant. You have a lot of commitment energy here. I'm feeling like if you've been waiting on somebody new to come into your life or somebody to come into your life, I'm feeling like, you know, somebody could be, there's a roadblock here because I'm seeing marriage energy, another family energy that could be interfering in the situation right now. And so somebody can't be fully committed to you just yet until they complete something. What does Spirit think you should do? The Fool card. Don't worry about the outcome here. It feels like something, so the Empress card is taking form. The the High Priestess, like I told you, is things are still kind of you're figuring things out, right? You're observing. This can say be silent right now. Somebody's going through a shift here, but things are going to start to take form this week. If some of you are working on a new relationship or expecting a new relationship, there could be something new starting right now. But I can see that there's a karmic tie somebody has with something else or somebody else, which is holding back. So somebody has plans on reaching out to you, but they have other commitments. They view you as somebody that brings excitement into their life. So you might be somebody that has been a fresh new perspective, or you're somebody that is bringing life back to somebody's energy. But the challenge is other commitments. All right. Now you have an Aries, you have a Taurus, you have a lot of Libra here. You have a Aries, Leo, Sag here. And somebody may be dealing with an ex, family, mother, baby mother, you know, a contract. And you're having to take a leap of faith here, not knowing the possible outcome. You know, and also making a choice to take a leap of faith with somebody, knowing that there could be potential, you know, disappointment. You know, that's what happens when we have to trust. You know, you got to trust the situation and jump in. It feels like somebody has honest intentions towards you, but again, I do see an external situation that is getting in the way of it. All right. And also the Fool card is for you as well, which is saying, you know, maybe use a little bit of caution instead of just jumping in like a fool. For some of you, use a little precaution, right? Keep it light, keep it fun until you know where somebody truly stands. And that's the High Priestess too. Observe, you know, what's really going on, but just don't read into it too much and let fear get the best of you. All right, so let's see. Aries. If you're connected to an Aries through Pisces, I still have some growing to do. So it looks like Aries is still trying to figure out where they stand, what's happening. So this part, Aries through Pisces, may not click 100% with the reading I just did, but it could, okay? So Aries is still like living in their own life. Maybe you're ready for something more. Maybe they're still just kind of figuring themselves out. If they're a page or even a knight and you're ready for a king, that can just say a timing issue. Taurus, they're hiding something important from you. So Taurus is kind of showing up in this energy. It may be that they have other commitments. So that may not be for all of you, but I will say just do some investigation and make sure you get the facts. Just don't believe something that you hear. Gemini, I wish we could go back to the past. I wish we could make it happen again. That can bring in, you know, conversation about it. But if you guys feel like there's no way, it doesn't mean they don't wish they could, but there could be a block. Maybe you guys feel like there's just no way. Cancer, there was someone else interfering in our relationship. So that kind of is what I was saying up here. You know, you may have misread a block. You may feel like somebody's not being honest with you, but that could be true. So you want to ask questions. All right. Leo, they are in denial with their head in the clouds. So Leo here just wants things to be their way and that's it. And Again, it can go either way. Maybe you're in denial and have your head in the clouds, you know. I don't want to trigger you guys, but you just got to ask yourself, is it me or them, right? Sometimes it's not easy. But I am seeing that one of you are in denial about what's really happening here. And the only way to change anything is to accept what's really happening. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Virgo, you make me want to be a better person. So you're really making an impression on a Virgo. That could really turn out better than you think. Libra, they're trying hard to earn your love. Maybe one of you are trying too hard to earn each other's love. So it's like one of you is trying too hard and it's disappointing the other, or it's pushing somebody away. And if your Libra is trying to convince you that they're in love or that they're sorry, maybe they feel like there's no way of winning you over. There's no way of forgiveness here. All right. So that's what I'm getting there for your Libra. Now, Scorpio, I abandon people to make myself feel important. You got a runner here. All right. Somebody who avoids conflict because they don't want to be the one to do the wrong thing. They don't want to be the one to make a mistake. They don't want to be the one to hurt you. So they'll leave before, even though you're saying, well, leaving is hurting me, but they'll leave before they can get hurt. Sagittarius, I want you so badly. So there is a strong sexual connection between you and Sagittarius. There's no doubt there. Capricorn, internal conflicts are affecting your connection. So it could be both of you. It could be one of you just triggering, battling demons, battling our own demons. And it seems to be a lot of internal stress or issues that are being misinterpreted in the relationship. So it can cause a power struggle. It can cause heated arguments. It can cause destruction, conflict, challenges. And that's what's the only block, right? It's like just can't seem to find some sort of common ground where we can just agree to disagree or not. And there's a lot of trigger in here. Aquarius, you're at the point of no return. The end is near. All right. So this can be a tower card, and it can be good and it can be and not feel so good. It's like you guys have pushed it too far or you've just gone too far, and Aquarius has gone too far, that there's no returning from this. Once you know, or once somebody has pushed the limit or pushed your buttons or just mistreated you or did something that is just too much, the tower is the tower, and things come crashing down. We can only push so hard before it finally happens. Now, the other thing is it can be you've invested so much, or they've invested so much in the situation that maybe they feel like there's just no returning. They're committed, they're here. And so maybe you're finally reaching some point of clarity. All right. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt there with that one. And that can be finally realizing of some truth, awakening, but it's definitely a tower energy. Pisces, they feel a deep connection with you. Okay. So that's true. That's what's coming through. You can feel deep connections with people, but the action is what's important when we go. You can have feelings all day, but it's actions that matter. All right. All right, let me get some water. Thank you. It's for Easter. All right. Scorpio, 214. All right, Scorpio. Scorpio Saggy. All right. Let's see. It's awesome energy right there. Hello, JB. Scorpio, let's see their feelings for you. And also I'll look at Aries to Pisces and get a hidden message. All right. Breakthrough energy, Ace of Swords, 8 of Cups underneath. You may have been dealing with somebody who's had to take some time to figure out what they really want. All right. Looks like somebody is finally figuring out, you know, and making a decision and being clear with you this week. Right. I am sorry. Biased to Sag. All right. So let's see. All right. There's a breakthrough energy. And so that can bring in some good news because at least you're getting the truth of something. All right. You finally know the direction of something. So let's see your person's feelings. King of Pentacles. You have a strong king showing up for you. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What's their biggest challenge with the connection? 7 of Pentacles. All right. Very earthy energy right here. You know, sometimes it's hard for this person to see the outcome, see the future without having everything planned out, right? They can get stuck in their head. They can get stuck in their routine. But I can see somebody who is really focusing on a future here. And it looks like a lot of determination coming through with, you know, if you've been dealing with a roadblock with somebody like, all right, you know, when are you going to decide, make a choice, move? Where are we going to go? What's the plan, Stan? All right. It looks like you're seeing a plan take form here. Something may be moving here, making plans to stabilize the connection. How do they view you? The 4 of Wands. You're their next destination. How do you view them? The Hierophant. So, of course, Scorpio, you're probably viewing this person as a very strong spiritual connection, very loyal. And maybe it's taken you some time to finally figure out, you know, or you've been waiting a while, 7 of Pentacles, but it looks like the investment has been there. All right. There's no doubt that you've been invested. Now you got a strong Taurus energy showing up for you, which can be your opposite, which is your opposite zodiac sign. And this kind of relationship can really test you, and it may have tested you in the past, but it looks like something's happening right now where you guys, your relationship is leveling up. Happiness, somebody very happy. Looks like somebody wants to come home. Looks like somebody wants to be home, right? Somebody, you know, wants to see where this relationship goes. This is an anniversary. This is a commitment. This is a milestone. Somebody sees you as somebody who makes them very happy, and they love to see you happy. But you have somebody that can get stuck in their ways and over plan, or everything has to make sense before this person makes a decision. They see the potential of this commitment, this relationship, and they see you as valuable to them, very loyal to you. What's your biggest challenge with them, though? The 9 of Pentacles. I'm getting work, more work. Money, 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 responsibilities. Too serious. Serious. Somebody is worried about, somebody may be constantly just worried about the future. Maybe they feel like you're constantly worried about the future. I could have this backwards here. And they just want you to lighten up and have fun, right? And they want to commit to you. They're very loyal to you. You're also dealing with somebody, the biggest challenge here, somebody who wants to make it big, wants to make money, wants to have a good future. And it could be somebody that overworks themselves, and you're somebody that wants to maybe have a good time, have more joy, have more fun. You're dealing with somebody who's opposite than you. So whatever that opposite is, you got to think about it. I'm just coming up with ideas here now. But this is a relationship that could be very challenging at first, but it looks like it could be very rewarding for both of you, right? And so this may or may not resonate with every one of you. As you know, the Seven of Pentacles says to me that somebody is determined here. It may, and you'll see growth. You'll see, you'll start to see a return of investment with this kind of energy. No more breadcrumbing, or it's not even part of this. That's not even an issue here. This is more like we're in alignment. This is marriage energy. We're in alignment. Now, and the thing is that the opposite energy here, when people are opposite from one another, they tend to run from one another before they realize, or one will get so triggered that they will, that's where this dynamic can happen. And it's like, if you guys can just figure out that you're different and work with the differences and just not expect them to react or act. You're Mars, Scorpio, and you have Venus energy here as your opposite. Venus wants to enjoy and appreciate the good stuff in life and take their time, and they're in no rush. Mars wants to cause destruction and make shit happen. So that's why, like, Mars and Venus, and that's the kind of relationship you're in. But when you can make it work, this is long term. This is marriage. This is potential. It's awesome. Potential for awesomeness. But some people can't get past that that middle. They can't find that middle energy. So what does Spirit think you should do? Judgment. There's your Scorpio energy right there. Truth. You got to make a decision and decide, all in, all out, decide to make it work. And this is going to be hard for some of you, because that means if you're dealing with somebody who is always caught up and isn't always there to entertain you, that's a big one, guys. I'm Scorpio. If you can't always be entertained and have joy, and you have somebody that values work or, their routine more, you're going to get bored, or you're going to get upset or angry, and you may judge the situation. You may judge them. You could, you got to make a decision here about what it is. If you're dealing with somebody completely opposite than you, how to make it work. How can you make it work? Judge it differently. This is a chance for a relationship to completely turn in a new direction here this week for you. Anything else for Scorpio? I got the Empress card for you too. I've got beautiful energy coming out today in all readings. In Scorpio, you may have a hard time being a Mars ruled. I know you're feminine. We're feminine energy, but I don't care. Mars takes that shit and runs with it. All right. It's hard to lean back and let somebody do for you. It's hard to let somebody love you. It's hard to open up and just receive love. I can see a meme or meme, whatever you want to call it, with Scorpio, like somebody saying like they love you and want to take care of you, and you like it's so suspicious. Like what's your motive? What are you doing? And it feels like that for some of you could be what the trigger is. Like somebody may try to show you or do things for you, but your Mars wants to attack, and your Mars wants to attack when good things come in. So sometimes, Scorpio, we tend to sabotage a good thing because you've been fucked over so many times, right? Said that with some love. All right. Every coin has a heads and a tails, but the coin is the main thing. Absolutely. That's perfect. Let's see, Aries through Pisces. So I'm seeing a conversation, though, and a breakthrough energy for my Scorpios. All right. So I'm going to pull random cards here again. I got a big pile of cards. Aries, I feel the sexual tension. All right. And so you and Aries definitely have something growing here. You guys can actually make it work. You know, but the thing about you and an Aries is it's a tower. Aries and Scorpio rules tower, which means sometimes things get so intense you screw it up. You both do, not just you. So you could have another chance coming in because you guys obviously can't resist each other. Taurus. So for those of you that are in an opposite relationship, here's the message. I do love you. Right? So I do love you. Gemini, I can't reach out right now. Right? So you may know the reason. There could be another reason. Obviously, there's a third party situation. It doesn't have to be a person, but it could be another situation. Could even be in jail. Who knows? Right? Cancer, I can't get enough of you. Right? So Cancer, all about you. There could be, you know, there could be confession with that. Remember the Ace of Swords. And I have Leo. I am recovering. All right, so they took a blow. Leo took a blow, and maybe they're going through a huge tower moment. Maybe something happened between the two of you. It looks like they're still kind of undergoing the process. And Virgo, I want to make amends. So you have a Virgo here that doesn't like what's going on between the two of you. Libra, I still have some growing to do. It's a timing issue. You guys are just not on the same page at the same time. Scorpio, lies lead you nowhere. Seek or speak the truth. That's a big one. That doesn't mean that you're viciously lying, by the way. And it can be vice versa, you and another Scorpio, right? So your Scorpio could be just not always being transparent with you. But also it could be you not being transparent with the other person. I mean, this is where it comes down to it. Is somebody just a conquest for you? Is somebody, are you not really that into them? Are you bored? Are you just not being honest with yourself? You know, now, and your other Scorpio is mirroring you. So it goes both ways. So you got to be honest with each other. And that could even be lying that everything's okay. I'm constantly telling my Scorpio everything's okay just to make the connection work. That's not gonna get you anywhere either. Sagittarius, time apart will improve this relationship. So if they are giving this a little bit of space, just know that it's actually going to benefit, even though you may be fearful. Capricorn, I saved your text and messages. All right. So receipts. All right. You guys have receipts here, and I'm sure you do too. And you guys obviously care enough that you want to review or keep a hold of them. You want to keep that line open. Aquarius, I don't know how to feel right now. So they're still kind of stewing over what's happened or what's going on in their own life. They just don't know how to feel. Pisces, I want you so badly. So there's a strong sexual connection with you and a Pisces. All right, Scorpio. Scorpio, you had a really good reading. I don't get them that often. Of like that, you know. Hello, Davey. What's up? And Reika. All right. All right, guys. I will be going live after this too. So Monday, I mean, I'm going to be going straight into this. I always prepare for Monday. I take a long weekend. 2/28/28. All right, Sag. See what's going on. Thank you, FG. For some of my Scorpios too, know that could be a prediction of something coming in towards you. Sagittarius. All right, another goodie so far. All right, the door opening. And the moon card underneath that. This can tell me a couple things, Saggy. You got a cycle coming around. You know, there's obviously, you're taking up space in somebody's heart or somebody's interested in you. You know, there's emotions which can, and there's a lot of emotions. And that can really mess with you because the moon card can talk about cycles that never change or that repeat themselves. And so this could be a sign that that's happening again this week, another cycle coming around, another person opening up, another opportunity. And it just feels like I'm still uncertain. I'm not always sure. It always feels like it feels good in the moment, but I'm still always left with uncertainty of where this is really going. Things are still unclear. And maybe somebody is holding something back. And it also can be a very good energy of holding back, telling you how they really feel. You know, but it scares the shit out of them to open up. You got Pisces energy here as well. I will say that this also tells me not to believe everything you see or feel this week 100% without checking it twice. Because your emotions can, if they're all over the place, can don't look for signals and signs. And this is where you've got to go within and figure out what's going on, not read into everything. This kind of energy can be very difficult because things can look, there's a lot of illusions. It can look like one thing and be another. And so this can go both ways. It can feel like love, but it can be also somebody that, you know, it feels like there's love there, but it's just a pattern that keeps happening. The feelings, your person, you got a Knight of Wands showing up. Obviously, they got strong feelings for you, strong chemistry for you. Find you hot, exciting. Definitely somebody they like hanging out with. I see loyalty in a way. I see just fun to be around. That's you. That's your card. That's your energy. I give that to you. Their biggest challenge with you, though, is family relationship. You know, you got a Knight here, and somebody, you know, if it's a family or somebody has family already, or somebody's already been married, already done it, did it, don't want to do it again, they just want to keep things playful, that can be hard for you. Or it's somebody that wants to start a new relationship, but it's scary because they've had a relationship before and they're trying to start a new relationship and it scares them. You know, so they may be kind of keeping things, like surface level right now with you, or trying to keep things like, you know, just avoiding in a way, going too deep right now into the situation. And that could be really confusing you because especially if you're falling in love with somebody and you want somebody to open up more. How do they view you? The Queen of Pentacles. I mean, there's no question of your value. You're looking good. You're very independent. You're somebody worth everything. You got it going on. You know, somebody just may not know how to start up a relationship just yet, especially if they were in a relationship before and they struggle with relationships. Well, how do you view them? The Eight of Swords, you feel like they stress too much and you know that they worry so much and that's why they're afraid to take action. Like you already know it. You know that this person lets their fears get the best of them. But you're the Queen of Pentacles, and to me, you just got to keep your shit together. Slow and steady. I feel like this person here, the more nurturing you are, the more slow and steady you are, the more confident you are in yourself. It feels like, you know, this person's battling their own beliefs around marriage, around relationship, around it's just relationships. You're dealing with a Knight of Wands. I mean, they're very attracted to you. There's no doubt the chemistry's there. But that's also the energy of I'm trying to keep things at this, you know, I want to see where things go, but I want to kind of not get so serious, but you're more serious here. The Queen of Pentacles. What's your biggest challenge with them? The Hanged Man. You just constantly feel stuck, like it's not going anywhere. You're just getting tired of waiting on this person. You're tired of waiting on somebody to change for you or to make a decision. And so, you know, it's not like they're doing anything wrong. It's just that you guys are wanting right now, you're wanting a serious relationship, and your person is saying either I just got out of a relationship, or I'm not sure if I want to be in a relationship just yet, but I'm open to see where it goes. You have the Ace of Cups here. It's like I'm open to see where it goes. But the Moon card here is, you know, anxiety about the future already. Maybe it's too soon to worry about the outcome. But again, if some of you are like, look, I'm not getting any younger here. I know what I want. If you don't know what you want, you know, you got to make the choice, not them. So what does Spirit want you to know? 3 of Cups. You know, to me right now, what I'm feeling with this connection is right now you're kind of in an earlier stage, and it looks as though you're building a relationship with this person. It feels like, you know, love is forming, but right now it's feeling like it's more casual in a way. And but it's telling me here that you guys are still kind of building something here. So it's up to you how you want to look at this and whether or not you want to wait any longer, or you want to keep it. Maybe some of you are getting sick of dating. Maybe some of you are getting sick of keeping it casual. I'm just showing you the dynamic and what's happening. And that doesn't mean that there's not possibilities, but the waiting, nobody can tell you how long that's going to be. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. If you're connected, I got a lot of Pisces here. I got Sag, Aries, Leo, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So if you're connected, I'm going to go through Aries through Pisces and get another message for you, but it may not resonate with this, but it could, okay? Aries, they wish to start all over with you, all right? So Aries could be somebody that's coming out of a relationship and they want to start something with you, but they just don't want to jump in like completely solid, or maybe they're just nervous about it, or having a hard time adjusting to a new relationship. Taurus, I am not over you. You know, so you got unfinished business there. Gemini, I watch your social media, keeping tabs here, trying to see what you're up to. Cancer, I'm planning on reaching out to you, so you may get, if you're waiting, like, what the hell's going on with them? There it is. Leo, finances are a problem. All right, so obviously they got some problems, and that's their main priority right now, not the relationship. So it could be what's holding them back. Virgo, I still feel the pain. Libra, I don't know why this happened. I can't figure out how we got here. And I guess you guys have to figure it out. You know, when did it start? What was the first thing? Where did everything start to fall apart? Because everything does happen for a reason. Because there was always an action or a consequence. And so it doesn't mean we have to know how, but we can still try and figure it out. So it's like backtracking with your Libra, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Scorpio, triggers affect the ability to trust. So that speaks for itself. One of you or both of you are just too triggered. You just don't trust and won't trust. And wanting the other person to trust before you do, or they want you to trust before they do. And that's a complicated situation. And that's like every time you guys get close, you're going to pull apart. You're going to freak each other out. And that doesn't mean if that's the dynamic, you know, it's going to be constant back and forth, back and forth. It doesn't mean that it'll change until somebody decides to trust. Sagittarius, twin flame energy. You had that recently. I don't get that as much anymore, but that came up for you maybe a month ago. Some of you, Sag, you're definitely connected to a twin situation. And with that being said, you can't wait for them. You can't wait for anybody. I think waiting, you feel loyalty, but the other person's not being loyal. And that's what I'm getting. Like, you have a twin, you could be starting that. You could be feeling like you're in it. And to me, it's intense chemistry, but it's lack of commitment just yet. Capricorn, reminiscent about you. Could be a reconciliation on the horizon. Aquarius, you're doing too much, balance is needed. So Aquarius feels like you're going way out of your way. You're just, you know, and that balance is causing tension. That imbalance is causing tension. Now, it could be either or. And somebody may feel obligated if you're doing too much. They may do stuff out of obligation, but it doesn't mean they're doing it because they want to. They're feeling guilted into doing something. And then later on, they'll be villainized for doing something and making you feel a certain way. So that's a tricky one. When you get kind of guilted into doing something, keep that in mind. That's where somebody says, well, why did you do it then? And you say, because I felt bad. That's no reason. That could be what's happening, you know, between both of you. So you got to question it. You got to question yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Aquarius, Pisces. I have trouble with intimacy. So we're seeing intimacy issues. And again, that's the 10 of Cups too there too. It's like, I can't let love in. I don't know how to be happy, or I just have trouble. Maybe I was raised in a family that didn't get along, dysfunctional. And somebody here knows how to have sex, but don't know how to be intimate. And you may be wanting that bond that you're feeling, that connection that you're feeling, because you feel it. But somebody may struggle with that. They don't know how to let go or dive that deep into feeling that intimate, or they just don't want to. They don't feel safe doing it. All right, let's see. Capricorn, we're getting there, guys. We are getting there. All right, Capricorn, let me get a good shuffle for you. All right. 2 of Swords energy, Cappies. So big choice week, big decision week. You know, it's like you're afraid to make a decision because it's painful, it's hard. You know, what if I do what my heart tells me to do, or what if I do what my mind tells me to do? One may keep you feeling confused, and one may keep you, you know, one may be uncomfortable, you know, especially if you have to make a decision to choose, you always have to lose something. And so the issue here is, even for your person, the overall energy is the Two of Swords. So it could be, you know, it's difficult to make a choice right now. You know, maybe my heart wants this, but my mind says I know what I need to do. And it's always hard to do what's right. Sometimes it always leads to heartbreak. I mean, oftentimes it leads to heartbreak or disappointment. And you also don't want to make a decision because you don't want to be disappointed in what you choose. Because sometimes there's no going back. So there's a complicated energy here with that. But something tells me you already know what you need to do. But once you do it, the hardest part is following through with how uncomfortable it is. Because have you ever immediately made a decision that you knew you were convicted in, but then the next day just felt sad or lonely, and then you start questioning whether you did the wrong thing? Does that mean your past self was not smart or didn't do what was right? We then talk ourselves out of our decision because we're uncomfortable with the reality of the choices we made. So this could be that kind of energy your person's dealing with this week. Let's see their feelings. 8 of Wands. I have a lot going on there. What's their biggest challenge with this connection? The Knight of Swords. It's making a decision. Things happen too fast. Look at this fast energy. Things get out of hand too fast. 1 minute it's exciting. The next minute it's overwhelming. You know, you can see the on again, off again type of energy too. The gas brake. And assumptions that cause arguments and triggers. Overreacting quickly to a situation before thinking it through. And so this can be, you know, they feel like 1 minute it's one way, it's good, and the next minute it's not. Or we say one thing, but then the next day it goes back to the way it was. And there could be a lot of things that have been said between the two of you that gets twisted in arguments because of assumptions. But the thing I see here is it's just slow down with each other. Things move too fast here. How do they view you? 4 of Pentacles. So they may have done this many times with you, kind of, you know, or this has happened because the 8 of Wands says it goes both ways. It goes both ways. So there's no there's 2 here. 2 parties involved. Not seeing eye to eye. So one might say it's the other and the other will say it's the other. You know, kind of pointing fingers too. But they see you as closing off from them. And this can also be very possessive too. It can be very controlling, and it could be out of fear. Because you're dealing with somebody who comes in super fast, and then things kind of get, you know, when things get too fast or too serious or too overwhelming, they leave, and you're needing security. And this isn't bringing you security, it's making you hold on tighter. So this person may trigger you every single time they come in. Now you have a Knight of Swords here who's saying, you know, like, you got a fun guy here, fun gal, fun guy. You got somebody here that likes to keep things moving, you know, and grooving, and don't want to complicate things, but yet they're usually typically somebody who can complicate things, right? They can be reckless with their decisions. So it's intense connection between the two of you, but it's very unstable, and you're not getting the emotional security. So what happens when you deal with somebody like this? You hold on tighter and you try to control them, but you're trying to control free spirit. The wind cannot be controlled. And your person makes choices so inconsistent. One minute they can be happy, the next minute they're on to something else. And that you need security, right? You need security. So what happens is this person triggers your anxiousness and you're controlling because you need something to slow down. You need something to work here. How do you view them? How you don't trust them. You may even spy on them, or you feel like they're deceiving. But again, to me, it feels like you already see it coming. But you go against your own intuition at this, you know, sometimes, because this person excites you and you guys have a very intense connection. So, or things were rolling, things were good, and then all of a sudden they come to a halt. And I'm seeing defensive energy here as a challenge, because the Knight of Swords as a challenge is somebody that gets, you know, the challenge they see with the relationship with you is that you get defensive. And you may make assumptions too that lead to back and forth arguments. And it's like honesty, it's hard to be honest here with each other because it looks like a lot of triggering. And it does feel like you can't trust them. They're too fast. They're too quick. They might even be very good looking. Maybe they've done this to you before. So I got Pisces, I got Cancer energy. I have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And I have very fast energy. So this can be like just make you spin type of energy, right? So what is your biggest challenge with them? The Seven of Pentacles. You can't make plans for the future because they won't slow down enough to make plans. They don't stay long enough to make plans. You know, you're constantly wondering where things are going. And it feels like you overgive. You keep giving, but they're not giving back. And you need accountability and stability, but you're dealing with somebody here that wants freedom. That's the problem. And I also see that you want stability. So how do you make it work when one wants commitment and stability and emotional security, and one wants to keep it fun and intense and doesn't want to worry about what tomorrow brings, doesn't want to worry about the future, maybe doesn't want to think about it yet. And that can be very hard, especially if you are in love with this person, right? But you have an important decision to make this week. Go back to that, because you can love somebody, but it's only going to make you angry at this person for it. And this could be the way they are. This is who they are. They're somebody who enjoys a freedom to do whatever they want, go wherever they please, do whatever they want. And you're in love with them, but you're not in love with their lifestyle, right? You're not in love with their lifestyle. You want them to be more stable for you, and they're not showing up stable for you. And they may have tried, or they come back around to give it another try because you both feel something for each other. But it is what it is, the energy they're in. It's very triggering. So what is Spirit, you know, the Three of Pentacles, to me, Spirit's saying keep it as friends. There's something that keeps you guys, it's saying take a step back here. You're trying to build a future on a foundation that hasn't even, that seems to not get anywhere just yet. But it doesn't mean it's not possible. But you're seeing the Three of Pentacles, which is, you know, this could be taking it back to friend zone, friending, you know, being friends. The person's not ready for a serious relationship, and you are. And they're going to continue disappointing you until, you know, they are ready. But what keeps them coming back around is because they do care about you. Sometimes we're just better off as friends. You know, and that's where the disappointment might come in when we make a choice. And some of you already know that. Aries through Pisces. So if you're connecting to Aries through Pisces, this could be different than this, but it could resonate. Aries, I still have feelings for you. So there's definitely feelings here between you and an Aries. Taurus, I do love you. All right, these are hard. This is hard. I didn't say this was going to be an easy read, or these things are easy. Life isn't easy. Relationships are not easy. And deciding to, you know, being in love with somebody but deciding not to be with them because they're just not showing up isn't easy either. Gemini, they want you to take charge and set the pace. And that could be vice versa. If I don't want to connect it to this because that wouldn't make sense. It seems like it's the other way around. They want to keep track of the pace. And you want consistency. That would make sense. But here Gemini's saying like, they want you to take more control. And Cancer, your body language says so much. So you might be saying one thing, but Cancer is reading you differently. They might not believe what you're saying, which means it's like, I'm fine, but you're not. Your body says, or you're saying you don't want this, but your body is saying you do, or you can't stay away from each other. So they really are, what you're doing and what you're saying is two different things. Leo, their intentions are confusingly questionable, right? So this is the choice you have to make. Their intentions, you can't tell. 1 minute it's one thing, the next minute it's questionable. And you're not getting clarity here. So it's like they're keeping the door open, but they're keeping you attached in some way. So this is not a good energy. They're confusing you and they keep you guessing. And that's a tactic. So I'd be careful with that one. That's actually playing games to me. Virgo, I am intimidated by you. All right, so maybe you come on too strong for a Virgo. Libra, I gave in to temptation. So whatever, it could be short-lived. There was attraction. It seemed like a good thing. This could be, you know, if they cheated on you or if, you know, you were the temptation. It can go either way. But it could be, you know, just kind of gave into something I knew I shouldn't have. Scorpio, I am not over you. You're definitely hard to forget. Maybe they're still processing their feelings, so give it a little bit more time. Remember, I don't ask you to wait. I never do. Time, giving something time and waiting is two different things. Sagittarius, I dive in and out of relationships. That can be that energy right here. When the going gets tough, I get going in the other direction. Capricorn, I have your partner is eager to compromise, right? So it does look like your Capricorn wants to work things out with you. Aquarius, I want to work things out, all right? So you get in two there. that really want to try and make it work. Pisces, I have trouble. I keep getting this one. I mix them. It's all mixed up. I have trouble with intimacy. So it looks like the sex is good, but anytime we try to deepen it or get emotionally connected, your Pisces runs. All right. See, you know what? I did not see this, Davy. I am so sorry. Davy, thank you for this super sticker. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I did not even, I might have seen it and then I was in the middle of a reading and didn't say anything and I forgot. So thank you very much for that, Davy. All right, Aquarius, 3. All right, let's get a really good shuffle here for Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Oh, wow. How's that for you? You know, I kind of get jealous of, also in a good way, of air sign moons. Can detach quickly. You should have no problem. All right, Aquarius. The Hierophant. What to do, what to do. There is some loyalty between you and another person, some understanding, and Two of Cups. Something developing. You know, you share similar qualities and it's about compromise and understanding to strengthen the relationship. And it's bringing everything back to love. So, you know, sometimes this energy is about seeing the other person and not being angry at the other person for their what's happening. And this could be the beginning of a really beautiful turning point, a conversation for you and another person. And it's understanding, you know, when you come from a place of truth and you can see another person, it's a very beautiful moment here where we just see each other. Somebody's very loyal to you. Look at this, Two of Pentacles as well. I don't know why I did that. I shuffled it again subconsciously. So this can also be compromise, working things out. You know, sometimes we've got to make a decision, important decision. Is what I'm saying to this person worth it? Is having this argument worth it? Is reaching out when we said we were giving each other space and breaking that contract worth it? You know, we really got to adapt and compromise with each other, especially if you're going through a tough time. So this tells me that something is growing, something is building. And even with that Two of Cups, but it also is really trusting the situation, that it's going to work out. a lot of things changing, a lot of things up in the air, and a lot of things happening here. So let's see the feelings for you. Four of Swords. Right now, they may be overwhelmed. They may need a little bit of space from you. So maybe that's been triggering you. A lot going on. You might be misunderstanding them, or they just want you to relax and chill. What's their biggest challenge with you? The Empress card. You're not owning your worth is the first thing. Like, they value you. They see you beautiful. Also, you could be a parent. You could be a mother. Sometimes, you know, somebody needs to make a decision, and it takes a while. You can't force somebody to want to be a parent. You know, and challenge could be too that they just, with the Four of Swords, Aquarius, they may feel like they just want you to lean back a little bit. You could take it personal if somebody doesn't, you could be taking it personal that somebody here, you know, isn't sure with that Two of Pentacles and Two of Cups. You know, they feel something for you, but they may be uncertain about where things can go or where they want things to go. And that uncertainty with an Empress can start to make you feel insecure. Right? And trust. Maybe this person feels like you don't trust them. How do they view you? The Fool card. Right? This is somebody here that still sees a possibility here. But they also see you jumping in too fast. That just came through too. So some of you may just jump in too fast and you don't care. You're like, let's go for it. This can be Aquarius energy. Maybe you're unpredictable. Maybe you're just different than their usual type. That's been coming through today a lot. You know, you're impulsive, you're fun. How do you view them? Three of Swords. Disappointing you, making you sad, hurting you. What's your biggest challenge with them? The Three of Pentacles. All right. You just feel like they're not giving in as much as you are. The challenge with you can be overgiven. Like, you know how to take care. If you're a parent and you're dating somebody that is unsure they want to be a parent, or they are unsure they want to have kids in the future, you can give off a very nurturing, loving energy and just naturally take care of everybody, or give and give, because that's what parents, that's what especially moms do. And you're also very emotional, nurturing, and you jump into relationships so easy. But the challenge you have with this person is the Three of Pentacles, which means you want them to make a decision now. You want them to step up and support. You want them to step up and be more supportive. You want them to step in and take charge, to, you know, take more control. And this person is saying, I'm not sure I'm ready. And the way they feel is overwhelmed. And if they're feeling pressured, or feeling, because it looks like, you know, you have fallen so quickly. If anybody feels pressure, they tend to shut down and go silent. And so trying to pursue somebody who needs a break or space could potentially backfire. Now you want them to step up with that 3 of Pentacles, but they're not ready to go to that next level. Now, you had the Hierophant the first time around, and I had said that this person is very committed, very loyal to you, and there is a chance that this could develop into something more serious, but you're up against time here, especially with the Pentacles, and somebody here who's feeling very overwhelmed and they need space. And if you're uncomfortable with space and you feel like they're breaking your heart, or you feel like there's a separation happening and you think it's completely over, that might make you act impulsively, to overreact and to give more and to reach out rather than lean back. It may make you feel insecure and act out of alignment. And Spirit saying, don't do that. You're a queen. This person may just need a little bit more time to figure it out. And how long it takes somebody to figure something out is their business. It's not our business. Unless, we have agreed to certain terms and have a commitment. That's when people, it's fucked up, but everybody processes things at a different way is all I can say for that. I'm not making excuses for anybody. I'm just showing you energies and why there could be a block, or you're feeling disappointed by somebody. This card always tells me, give it a little bit of space. Sometimes space is all you need in a relationship, and it's actually doing the relationship more good than you think. Breaking silence for too soon causes more pain. What does Spirit think you should do? The 10 of Swords. This is knowing that you might be feeling like this person, it's over, it's ended, maybe, but to me, this feels like it doesn't need to be this difficult right now. Not with these other cards right here. You may be scared because you've been betrayed in the past, or you've been through a divorce, you've been heartbroken. And so immediately when somebody pulls their energy from you, you feel that pain again. You got to process that. That nobody else can process that for you. The 10 of Swords is telling me, though, that time of your life is over. You may be repeating a pattern and not realizing it, and it could be sabotaging your new relationships without you realizing it. And so I feel like, Aquarius, the message here is that you may be in a slight separation, but it doesn't mean it's completely over. But if you let your fears get the best of you and think that it's completely over, this is where we can start to sabotage a situation before it even turns into anything. Because you're so afraid to get hurt again. And I don't feel like this person wants to hurt you. Right? I just feel like you're working up against a different personality. You guys have to learn each other, figure out what each other needs. And that's it. All right, Aries through Pisces. So if you're connected to Aries through Pisces, I have a Libra, Taurus. I have an Aries right here, Aquarius right here too. But let's look at Aries through Pisces. This could resonate with this, but might not. Aries, stagnancy is affecting your love life. It's just taking too long. It's not what you need. It's not what you want. With an Aries, you just feel like you're waiting constantly. And you're bored, right? Or they're bored, right? It can just feel like we get stuck in the same shit, and it's overplayed, right? So that's what I'm getting with an Aries. Taurus, they are in love with you. They're enamored by you. That's in love. Tauruses just tend to, people with strong Taurus placements, They don't need anybody. They do not need anybody. They could sit out in a field by themselves. They want love, but they're also slow to commit because, especially if they fall in love, they're slow to commit because they're not going anywhere once they do. And once they do commit, and if they hate it, they stay in it. Most of the time, in my experience. All right. Gemini. I couldn't tell you face to face. So obviously they didn't want to hurt your feelings, or they had to tell you something and they just, they're coward. And that might not be for everybody, right? And obviously that could be something that they were hiding. Well, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. What if they just couldn't say how they feel to your face, right? Maybe some of you are you're in a situation where they really want to tell you they love you, but they just don't know how to open up, right? So that would be a more positive way to look at that. But when it says I couldn't tell you, it seems like something you already know or you found out, and it didn't sit well. Cancer, I miss hearing your voice. All right, so you may get some chatty phone calls. Leo, all right, this relationship is divinely guided. So it feels like this is really like the Temperance card. You know, if it's meant to be, just know that you're being protected, you're being guided. And if you truly believe this is your one, then you got to believe they'll come to you. You don't have to do anything. Virgo. Sometimes I hear your voice. So Virgo, definitely haunted by the past with you. They hear what you said. Maybe they're reminded of your wisdom. They still got you in their energy. Libra, internal conflicts are affecting your connection. All right, so one or both of you are struggling with what you want, struggling with your ego, struggling with triggers, struggling with control, struggling with being in charge, battling. Internal conflicts, 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands. 5 of Cups, 5 of Swords, right? 5 of Pentacles. Thinking negatively. And overreacting. So it could be one or both of you. Scorpio, I dive in and out of relationships. So be careful of that. You know, maybe they're trying to break the pattern, and they're just wanting to be by themselves for a minute. Or maybe they jumped in, you know, and for some cases, you just know that. Maybe they just jump into stuff too quickly and they don't want to do that again. But this could be a serial relationship or dater. Sagittarius, I watch your social media. I keep tabs on you. Capricorn, I abandon people to make myself feel important. So it just feels to me like your Capricorn runs before they can let anybody in, get close. Aquarius, I still feel the pain. So you and Aquarius still feeling, you know, the pain. The 3 of Swords. You know, but you got the 4 of Swords here. It's like a little time and space is maybe what this needs, because I still want to process. I'm still trying to process what happened. Pisces, I don't know why this happened. It just did, all right? Maybe we outgrew each other, or we got in an argument that got out of control. I don't know how it happened. It just did. Maybe you got an apology coming in. All right. We made it. I love you too. Thank you, him. All right, Pisces. 319. That's not that bad. Not as bad. I thought it was going to be longer, actually. All right, let's see. All right, Pisces, let's see. Six of Swords, right? So this tells me, you're welcome. This tells me that you're moving on from a difficult situation. That can be, you know, good for some of you. That could be disheartening. Maybe you know it's time. You know, maybe, you know, it's the overall energy. So some of you could be dealing with somebody else that's feeling like it's too difficult. I got to move on. I got to get out of here. It can be hard, right? But it goes both ways. And in the positive note, though, it could be that you guys are finally getting through some thick energy. You're taking a whooping this year, too. A lot of Pisces moving out of that energy. But I'm seeing Queen of Wands here. So it seems like you're moving on to a better energy and feeling more confident about your decision. Let's see a person's feelings. You have the Two of Pentacles, too. It's been coming through a lot. I just shuffled these a lot, and I'm getting the challenge, though, the Four of Swords. So overwhelmed. I spent about a minute here shuffling that. Somebody's overwhelmed. Your person's overwhelmed, completely overwhelmed with life. In general, you guys compromising with each other, maybe needing a vacation from one another. Maybe you guys are just down each other's throats, or you guys just go back and forth. You take turns over who's because remember, the Six of Swords is the new energy. Five of Swords is you're coming out of conflict. So you could be pointing fingers back and forth, or just it's one turn, somebody needs a break, somebody's overwhelmed, somebody's got something going on, and you guys just are out of alignment right now. It doesn't mean you can't make this work. How do they view you? Five of Wands. I'm trying. This tells me that they view you as, you know, even being like, you need a break, Pisces. You need a break. Maybe you're tired of all the fighting, all the battle, and all the conflicts. Holding everything together, dealing with the lashing out from other people. Could be other people in your life. You got a lot going on here. But that can trigger, you can see how it can go back and forth. If somebody's having a bad day, they take it out on you. They need space. But it seems like you guys are not willing maybe to give each other space when you need to, because that's the challenge. Four of Swords. So rather than giving each other space, we try to work it out when things are rough. We try to fight it out, argue it out, and we just stay fighting. At some point, the time is just not ready. It's not the right time to fix it. It's like, stop. Just stop and breathe. Because we're not even listening to each other with that Five of Wands. We're not hearing each other. We're just trying to compete. And that's what happens when you have the Five of Wands. You're competing, they're competing with who, it goes back and forth. So this is a two-way street here. This isn't just one person. It's both of you. With these cards are like the conflict cards, and they can be hard because one wants to justify, the other wants to justify. And, you know, I can be a Judge Judy. If you pay me, I'll do it. Let's see. So they view you as very challenging. Right. And let's see how you view them. The Chariot card. They just try to skirt by everything. Let's go. Let's move on. They don't want to deal with the challenges that you bring to the table. And so that doesn't mean that you're I'm not saying you're challenging or you're not, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. You're trying to challenge somebody who either thinks that you're arguing about something that is not worth arguing about, or they see competition, or they think you're overwhelmed and you're getting angry because this is angry or frustrated. And they're trying to move on past that. They're trying to get away from that so that, one, you guys can either compromise and work together, or two, they feel like you can't. And they're like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of the fire. And so the challenge is the Four of Swords. When this person tries to get away, the silence is hard to deal with. You want to argue it out. They want to run from it. They don't see how you guys can fix something with this kind of energy, too much going on. And that triggers you, that they just want to get past something, or they don't see it as overwhelming. They don't think it should be as overwhelming as it is. They don't think it should be as challenging as it is, but you may think it different. You know, you have something that's obviously bothering you. And the challenge is your person just wants to leave it in the past. And so what's your challenge with this situation with them? The Ace of Cups, you feel like it's unrequited. You don't feel like they really care about you or have feelings for you. And that could be true. The Two of Pentacles is also an energy of, I'm trying to see if we really have anything in common, or if we have enough in common. And that's why space is so important here. Because if somebody can get away for a minute, that's when somebody really misses you. But they can't see clearly if you guys are arguing. So things are kind of up in the air right now, and it feels like, you know, you're just wanting this person to make something right, fix something, give you an offer. And what does Spirit think you should do? Seven of Cups. The choice is yours in this situation. If this relationship is too hard or too challenging, or feels like no matter what you do, you can't get anywhere, it seems like every option this person has given has not been fulfilling for you. So sometimes the only option is to move on, and that's the Six of Swords. But also, I'm going to give you another example too, which Spirit says Seven of Cups. Sometimes you can be living up in your head and you may imagine things to be true, or you may get ahead of yourself. You could even fall in love, or you could create expectations of somebody too soon, or expectations that they can't meet. And it's not what's really happening in reality. And then if your person's not reciprocating the feelings, you may feel like they don't love you or they don't care about you. You're just on different frequencies here. You're in your imagination, and they may be trying to figure out reality, whether or not you guys can make this work. So the choice is yours. If this person's making you feel like an option, only you can stay. If you choose to stay and this continues, that's on you now. If this person's causing you that much grief. But then, you know, on the flip side of it too, maybe you don't have to do anything except give this person some time to figure their shit out. And be comfortable with it. And things could get a lot easier. All right, Aries through Pisces. Aries, I can't reach out right now. So obviously you guys may know why they can't reach out. It could be I'm with the money. It could be with them at work. It could be I'm always at work when you're calling. It could be I'm always at home when you call in, or I just can't reach out right now. So whatever, that's for some of you. Taurus, I am intimidated by you. You may come on really strong with the Taurus. They may feel like they're just not 100% sure they could make you happy. Gemini, I never want to feel that way again. So whatever grief's going on with you and a Gemini, it feels like they just don't want to feel like that. They don't want that to happen. They whatever, if there was an outburst, if there was a confusion or anything like that, or something was said that was misunderstood, like it may really have bothered them. And it feels like they just don't want to feel like, you know, they don't want to feel cornered or feel bad like that, or feel or hurt you like that, or whatever the reason is. All right. So they just don't want to feel it. If you guys were separated and you're back together, they definitely don't want to be separated again. Positive way to look at it. Cancer, I feel terrible for hurting you. All right. So it's inevitable. Maybe that doesn't mean they're coming back, but they definitely feel bad that it had to happen. But it also, they could be, and they could be apologizing. Leo, I have trouble with intimacy, right? So getting close, letting people in is not easy for them. And Virgo, let me dig from underneath. Virgo, I understand you better now. So this is where space and time, they're figuring things out this week. Libra, I'm not ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready yet. And waiting for somebody to be ready is like doing a plank for an hour and watching the clock, not just 1 minute. That's like watching a plank. I mean, in a plank and watching the clock for an hour. Okay, when are you gonna be ready? I don't know. Scorpio, I feel like I'm not good enough for you. Sagittarius, they fear change and want things to stay the same. So that speaks volumes. That means, like, if they're in a relationship, they just don't want to change the way things are. If they like what's going on with you, they don't want to change the way things are. They want things to stay the same. Capricorn, I feel you. Feel your presence. I feel you. Aquarius, I think the world of you. And Pisces, their intentions are confusingly questionable. Somebody else got this. I think Leo. And the last one, I think. So I don't know. You got to question things. You got to pay attention, Pisces. You know, because they're, even in the reading, it's saying their intentions are confusing you, which could be on purpose, and they're questionable, which means they might not be of the highest integrity. Right? So I love you guys. These were long today in depth. I hope that you enjoyed them. I will be live at 5. And we'll see what happens. See you there. I'm going to go take garbage. I'm going to go take a quick break, and I will see you guys in a little bit. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for always being here on Monday with me. I always appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Take care. Right? I don't know when, what do you mean, Sag and Capricorn? Oh, I don't know when I'm doing it yet. I might go live tomorrow with those two. That's right. For a minute there, I thought I forgot it on here. Probably tomorrow, before membership. All right, guys. With that being said, I will see you guys later. Please comment on the video, hype it. It actually helps a lot if you do, and take the time out to do that. You guys are amazing. Take care.